Thank you, Rotary Club, for always believing in Liberia. Let's play this live video before we launch the show today.
And people are enjoying themselves, and they are congratulating the Monrovia City Police and all the joint forces for this exercise, along with Mayor Shafat. But now we've been joined by another official of the Monrovia City Police. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good morning. What is your name?
My name is Colonel Divine Shamar. I'm the Deputy Director for Administration, Monrovia City Police.
Okay, so this exercise started on Sunday.
Sure.
And can you care to tell us what are some of the measures that you guys have in place for keeping it and maintaining it this way?
So something that I can tell you briefly, one of the major challenges in this country is sustainability. Starting something is one thing, and sustaining the process and maintaining it with sanity is another major challenge. But we are striving, we're fighting on it to see how best to maintain this process, to keep the streets, keep people off restricted areas. As you can see, both front and the back. I think in 20 years' time, this is the first time, to my knowledge, we tried some time ago. Dwara was clear, but you can see today, since Sunday is much clearer and much wider. And we're trying to maintain the process. We're trying to sustain it. We're trying to tell marketers to go off the street, to go beyond restricted areas. Mind you, now in time past, you couldn't drive to Douala freely like this. Pedestrian, motorists, it was much more difficult for people to pass through Douala.
A lot of time we don't give the Monrovia City Police, or especially the Monrovia City Corporation, or all the city corporations, Painesville, Monrovia, we don't give them a lot of credit, but we want to recognize them for doing great work. You see how Douala looking, even red light, and there is some order coming down there. That is happening because of leadership, and that's what we are talking about. Every single enclave of this administration is trying to produce, and let's continue to push them to produce more and more for the Liberian people. And this is very good for our country. Everybody is doing their job, and this is the kind of leadership we're going to get going forward. No more. Absolutely, Dolo. We are not going back to Egypt under any circumstance. This country must move forward. It cannot ever again be given to men and women who do not understand the awesome responsibilities that are before them. You're welcome to the show. Thank you for sharing the show. Small country, big history. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Who are we? The real Wakanda. That is what we are. On shoulders of giants, great kingdom ancestors. King Kandi are great kingdom Manu, King Mendi Manu, the great kingdom Koya. Stand strong, the great fake kingdom Wakonko, the great Boro Federation. Unconquered, small country, big history. Small country, big history, the real Wakanda, that is what we are. Oh, Liberia, forever.
Small country,
big history,
big history.
Small country,
Small country,
big history,
big history.
Say that, please. Say it.
Samuel Benedict, John and the Lewis, Hillary G, Beverly R. Wilson, Elijah Johnson, J.B. Griffon, John Day, Anthony William Gardner, Amos Herring, Ephraim Titler, Imare. We not small people, no. Just say we full of place. Defenders of our race. We not small people, no. The real Wakanda.
Oh, we are not small people, small country, great history. Get acquainted with Liberian history. This is important. If we are going to go forward, we must know from whence we've come. This is very important. We are great people. We must seek that glory, seize that glory, and build Liberia to its proper place. Continue on this path of responsible leadership, because that's what we desperately need for this country to be seated at a proper place. Once again, you're welcome to the show, y'all.
is the Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JMB and JKK progress all across the country.
Oh, the Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Yeah. Showcasing progress, Liberian way.
Well,
JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today. Hey, oh,
from Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
the Class Reloaded,
Who bring the vibe?
the Class Reloaded,
Support development.
the Class Reloaded.
Who better arise again?
Oh yes, we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded,
Who bring the vibe?
Class Reloaded,
Support development.
the Class Reloaded.
Ready arise again.
Oh yes, we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Hey, showcasing progress, the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we shining today.
Hey,
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 hey, hey. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The Class Reloaded always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The Class Reloaded,
truth, truth,
Liberia rising.
progress,
JMB and JKK,
develop, develop.
the rescue mission, we move soon.
The Class Reloaded,
True,
Liberia rising.
progress.
JMB and JKK,
Develop, develop, the rescue mission, we move soon.
Hey, our people from across the country, man. You're welcome to the show. Class A FM, all the way out there in Kagata, Margibi County. Thank you so much for joining this afternoon. Radio Margibi, equally in Kakata, Margibi County, Peace FM in Habel. Radio Kwatike out of Bangabon County. Thank you for joining us. Premier FM out of Banga, Radio Gompa in Ganta City, Nima County. Radio Yalimba out of Sekrepe, Nima County. Top FM out of Zweju. Bleacher Radio out of my beloved Grand Bassa County. Radio Sano all the way out there in Greenville, Sano County. Radio Lofa also, we heard you guys are relaying as well. Thank you for sending our voices into the county. Radio Buto all the way out in Sano County. Trust FM in Bummy in Western Liberia. Punch FM out of Moria. Radio from across the country. We say thank you plenty for always joining us. I see my brother here, Momo M. Sanamani. Momo, what's popping, my brother? Kumasa, May Tapla. Most of you guys that are listening, I see Caroline here. Yeah, Caroline, everybody made noise in class, so they will put them in the back. Rose Harris, Rosie, I see you dancing as always. I'm glad you're back on your feet. Carino, Tia, welcome. Will, King Duncan, everybody, man, from across the country. I'm about to bring the guys on, but I want to send a powerful message to you guys today. Leadership, it is not just a name on it. Leadership is diligent. It is disciplined. It is strategic. It produces result. It is not timid. Okay, it is forceful. It is ingenious. It finds a way to make sure it produces what it says it's going to produce. It is calculative. It has an intention. It couples its vision with achieving what it intends to achieve. Leadership is not sloth. It doesn't just sit there. Leadership is not lazy. Leadership doesn't leave its post for 50 days and leave the country. Leadership is not dishonest. Leadership is not incompetent. Leadership pushes the agenda to deliver the best possible thing it can deliver to the people that it governs. Leadership is responsible. Our people will get leadership going forward because the intention is to open the eyes of Liberians, recognizing that your government can work for you, as it's been proven under this administration led by President Jose Yemam Puaka. That's what leadership can do. what is happening, it is not magic. It is leadership. And I want you to understand that entirely. Let's continue to ask for more. Let's continue to insist that Liberia gets better, and we continue to expand Liberia in a way that benefits every single one of us. My brother, Minister Sano, welcome to the show. As soon as the minister gets off the phone, I will bring him on the screen. How you doing, my brother?
Good to be here, Eduardo. How
Yes,
you
sir.
doing?
I can't complain. I can't complain. We're talking leadership in the beginning or whatever is happening in Liberia, what's going on in the country. I can get jealous sometimes, but I'll be all that soon, God willing. What's going
It's
on
a
with
good,
you?
it's a good way to start. I think a lot of things depends on the quality of leadership that we have in the country.
Yeah.
What are the community at the church level? Leadership entails a lot. And so I was saying to somebody the other day that wherever we find ourselves, the question of leadership has to be adequately answered, because when we fail to do so, the consequences can be very devastating. Our own experience as a country, Liberia, we learn a lot from leadership failure. That is why the country is at a point where a lot is demanded from the leadership of the country.
Exactly.
People look up to the leadership of the country for everything. So that's why you don't joke with leadership, because
You don't joke with it.
if you toil with it and it falls on somebody who doesn't understand what it means to be a leader, who is not up to the task. If you have a leader who doesn't know what to do first thing in the morning, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
And that's why we told people in the country during the campaign that President Bouaga would not be the leader who would not be ready on the first day to do the work. It's a leader who was prepared, competence, experience, and everything. And you can see that. This old man goes to work early morning. He leaves work, I mean, unexpectedly, 9, 10 o'clock.
Hey, Manji.
Yes.
You don't mean keep the heat or Google a lot of time.
People go 4, 5 o'clock. And the president stays at the mansion 7, 8 o'clock. He's still working, stays there very late, comes to work every day. So we're just happy for the kind of leader we have, because in a country with so many challenges, the leader needs to pay attention to a lot of things. In a country where sycophancy is so high, the leader needs to make sound decisions. And you can see that it's happening everywhere, across every sector. So we just want to give thanks to the Almighty God for the leader we have. I mean, steering the affairs of our country in the right direction. And we are making progress by the day, and things are getting better.
Yeah, Minister Sando, you mentioned something about, leadership will make or break a society. Sometimes, there's a tendency in Liberia, people will say, yeah, try the man too. At the highest level, especially at your office and above, those levels that I'm trying error places, because you have to have done something in your life to gravitate you towards that level, because it's time for production. So one of the reasons why I love to talk to young people in the country, so listen, if you want your condition to change, responsible leadership has to come to bear. If you don't fight to get responsible leadership, most of the time you're going to have the kind of results that we have gotten in the past, where people do not produce for you. But look around the country now, how quickly the country is transforming under responsible leadership. Honorable Pia, welcome to the show. What's on your mind? Comment on leadership, etc.
Yeah, thank you, Dualo. It's good to be here. I chose to come on briefly because my Friday commitment will now hold tomorrow. So let me come on Thursday. Tomorrow is it's Good Friday. I'm a Catholic. We take the activities of Holy Week very seriously, especially from Holy Thursday, which marks the watching of the feet of Jesus' disciples. And then tomorrow, Good Friday, the day of the crucifixion. then Holy Saturday, then Easter Sunday. So I thought it was good to come on. So much so is happening, and I'm glad we today announced at the ministry's press briefing that come the 18th, we'll be breaking ground for the road work from St. Paul Bridge to Old Waterside, which is expected to be a 4-lane road, and from Clay to Bombing, which will maintain the existing 2-lane, but it's going to be a brand new road. And that project will also see Menekoma to Vonjima or Vonjima to Menekoma, whichever way it goes. When the concession was ratified, in fact, when the Interministerial Committee negotiated it and forwarded the concession to the legislature, there were noise, oh, don't do it, why we can't find money. After all the noise, the legislature had hearings. They saw the logic, they saw the sense. Some of them asked the hard questions. Senator Amara Kone and others, and they got the answers they needed. They all supported the ratification. It was not a document meant, Eduardo, to be on the shelf. It was meant to be placed into motion, to be made actionable. We fast moving to make it actionable. By the 18th, we'll break grounds for that project to begin. We're doing it at Bow Waterside, and it is our intent to invite the president of Sierra Leone, since the road links country directly to Sierra Leone, to witness that groundbreaking ceremony as a special guest. And the company has been mobilizing. They have their site somewhere in Southtown along the Bombing Highway. So it's something they were ready for, and because they are ready, they've asked us to do whatever is outstanding so that they can go into motion. So we're going to do that, and you're going to get proud after a couple of years. Far before the government leaves power, you're going to see a brand new 4-lane road running straight from St. Paul Bridge to Bow Waterside. You would have also seen the completion of the Medina to Ravensport Road. Yes, it's not going to be 4 lanes at the main highway, but it's going to be a solid paved road, 2 lanes that would take us from Medina on the main junction there straight to Ravensport. So then, like I said, Menekoma to Vonjima, Vonjima to Menekoma. It is important that we're taking those actions in Western Liberia because those places apparently they've not got the real taste of development that is required. When you move to Tottenham, Eduardo, you drive and you enter Tottenham, you ask yourself some very hard questions. Is it where the mountains were on the Bombing Hill project that saw iron ore being taken out of that place? What did they leave there? Not even a road passing through Tottenham is big. What did the company do? Didn't they have buildings and etc. for the company? You found nothing there. All that was left there is a deep hole. It's good that somebody like President Bouakai is focused on that country as well. You're going to first restore their role, and we're looking for concrete investors that can bring some changes in that place and improve the lives of the people. So yes, I just thought that was something I needed to stretch out, and I want to encourage the class really to be paying attention to the Maker press briefing. We call very important guests there regularly. You can follow what they say, do some short videos from major breaking news that may come from there, and publish it. I tell you this joke. One of our members here saw a flyer announcing that the 168 remainder of the yellow machines were already in our region. And it was announced by a particular platform, and the person got angry. They called the director general of the cabinet. This thing, and blah, 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 the people. You know, we who fighting, they don't share information, or they can go to the negative press. And then the director general too called me a year, and I said, and you finish talking, let me cool down. So I said, but the flyer the person getting angry about is quoting what happened at the Maker press briefing. This thing he calls breaking news, and he thinks that a platform is breaking it and he's angry about, was said at the press briefing. But this platform attends the press briefing. They take it serious. And they get their news from there. All they do is just put it into little stuff and share it. Anybody else can do that. So let's pay attention to what we do there. That's the government's premium platform. I didn't even know, as the Minister of Information, that the government has paid the wire fees for over 57,000 senior high school students who will be sitting the wire. We paid that money 100%. I didn't know that. You know, it was announced today because there are some schools, according to the wire boss, whose students have complained, trying to force students to pay wire fees when the government has paid those fees 100% for 57,000 plus 12 graders. You know, I got to know that today because, as we normally do, we bring the different sectorial people at the press briefing to say to the public what they're doing. And so that news was released at the press briefing today. On Tuesday, we're bringing the man who manages one of the most productive sectors of our governance infrastructure, the managing director for LEC. He's coming with his entire crew, and they're going to talk about the country's energy sector and whatever they are doing. So I think that's how I wanted to start with. I was going home last night, like I said, at the press conference, and I reached to Douala. You know, I pass the road every day because I live Broadway. Then I saw that the quality of street lights they have up there have all changed. They have the very good ones that you find on the Robertsfield Highway. Douala, of all places, was as bright as what you see on the Robertsfield Highway, and I was there, what's going on? Then I realized they've been installing those new lights. As of last night, they have stopped around St. Mary Catholic Church in the 12 farm area. I spoke to the LAC managing director today. He said, oh, that thing you see that we're taking it straight up to Pole River. The same street light. So imagine you're driving from anywhere in town, you're crossing the bridge. All you see is absolute brightness with quality street lights straight until you get all the way in our Broadway going to Pole River. Then he reminded me and said also, oh, you know, I told you we're doing the finalization of the street light from Freeport to Raleigh. And he said that has been completed. He encouraged me. In fact, he said, I beg you to know you won't pass there. But hey, I can't leave from my office. I go way Pennsylvania, but I pass in merry-go-round. He said, but I want you to pass there so you can drive. And what you will see from the beginning of the journey to the end, the entire corridor is lighted. And then he says, we are now in preparation to move outside of Monrovia to also electrify with quality lights all county capitals. So much so is happening. And maybe that's one of my mind that I wanted to start with.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I know we got to talk to before I welcome Patrick to the show. Any updates that we know of regarding the Robertsfield Highway? Somebody asked that question here. I know they continue to work on that road, but what's going on there?
So until this week, the last time we had the Public Works Minister at the press conference, and somebody specifically asked a question about the Robertsfield Highway. And what the minister said is that the hurdle they had, which constrained them to have mandated an audit by the GSC, the audit has been concluded.
Okay.
They know the facts of the audit. And because the audit has been concluded, work is expected to recommence. Okay. The work was actually paused because, according to him, records show that about 110 million have been exhausted on the project. And the work we met, I'm not talking about the much work that we have done since we talked about, but the work we met had no semblance, no resemblance of an investment in the tomb of anything called 110 million. They wanted to find the facts of the matter. The GSC had done the audit. They had not disclosed what the findings and contents of the audits could be. But he said because that process is concluded, they were about to commence or recommence, whatever you put it, the construction works, and the work will continue. In fact, they started trying to do some work on the bridge. All of those were suspended, but those construction work are about to resume. They will do as much as they can, according to him, until at such a time that the rain does not allow them to continue. Due to climate change, I can guess that we'll have a lot of sunshine, God's willing. Yeah. If that happens, then it will enable us to do actual more road works. It will even help us as we complete the groundbreaking on the 18th of the PAVIFOR project. It will help us to start real intervention efforts and all those kind of things that we witness the actual beginning of that construction process. climate change should favor Liberia in that way by giving us more sun than rain this year.
That's good. If just for recollection, somebody remind me here. I remember when that road issue first came up on Ellen Johnson's relief, the initial cost was around $89 million. Now I expect cost overrun over time, but that cost overrun, if it went to $105 million, it should at least complete the entirety of the road if that was the case. Patrick, welcome to the show. We spoke about leadership. What's hitting your head regarding anything happening in the country?
Salute to you, Dwalu, for all you do for the country, and thanks to Minister Jerry Limick, Matthew Pia, and also Daniel Sando, and all the folks coming in the background. I know I spoke with Mo moments ago, and he will join us very shortly. So too many things happening. I like to give it out to the minister. Today, he finally broke the news of the ground breaking ceremony that will take place. I understand, Minister, you said May. We were talking April yesterday. So
it's not May. It's the 18th of April, not May.
Okay.
April 18th.
Sorry about that. So it's the 18th. So it's this month. So this is a very huge news.
When you want delay, our development?
I don't want delay myself. So more telling you, say, but why the minister didn't carry anything to? So we know we're getting a May, but it's coming April. And the good news is that His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, Julius Maada Bio, will join His Excellency Joseph Youma Boakai to do that groundbreaking. There's a reason why he's going to join. That will be spelled out clearly on the day. So there will be a 4-lane road from St. Paul Bridge all the way. This is happening in our country's history for the first time. We are elated about that. We are excited to see that happen. The Minister of Public Works will join us perhaps next week to tell us how that project will happen, whether there will be two sides coming to one another, the group coming from this side, the group coming from that side. There is also some good news in Tapeta. I was watching Tapeta radio, the social media podcast, and you see that the road is moving gradually to Tapeta Hill and just bending down the curve to go to the southeast.
Sorry, Daniel, you got to mute. I was telling Daniel to mute, but he did it finally.
Okay, that's real massive progress that we need to tell you about. Also, the minister will tell you about what's happening in Sierra Leone. For example, today I saw queues of motorbikes, pimping, lining up there to get gasoline. The government issued a statement there of an increase in the price. In Liberia, we have gasoline on the market. You don't see queues around. It tells you about leadership and how we were able to plan to avert any looming catastrophe or anything of that sort. We like to give it out to, it sounds easily done, but these things entail smart thinking and strong leadership, and we like to give it out to the team there at the Liberia Petroleum Refinery Company for all they do for the country. So too many things happening. There's another good news that is trending, that is expected to trend, but I'm not going to be the one to say it. I'm more eating by way. When that news breaks, it will shake the foundation of the country like what the yellow machines did. And finally, I'd like to talk about what's trending at my end and the Sam Jackson case. Sam Jackson is finally indicted. He's spending his first night at the Monrovia Central Prison.
He's charged, not indicted, charged.
He's charged. He's not indicted. The grand jury did the indictment, correct? He's indicted.
Yeah, I think. Well, let me play that. Let's listen to the police commander.
Please charge and send the court.
Okay. They're not using the but I think when you're charged, you're already indicted. That's what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Patrick. We'll play this up.
Because I thought the grand jury got to. But anyway.
And then Moya on the line help us out here.
But something very interesting happened, and Mo and myself were talking about it just this evening. Sam Jackson, they say is lonely at the top. There is an adage that says lonely at the top. Today I saw Sam Jackson lonely at the top. He was alone moving at the Monrovia Central Prison. He was alone moving at the National Police Headquarters. His beloved CMC political party, not a single representative stood by his side. Nobody from the opposition stood by his side. I mean, he felt so lonely. I can imagine what's running through his mind at this point. Here is a guy who every morning woke up and wrote 15, 20 messages on social media to boost the morale, boost the morale. You know, we used to hear about that cliche, boost the morale of the opposition. But when the day he had to face his biggest challenge, he was lonely at the top. That is a message, lonely at the top.
Thank you so much, Patrick. The issue here is we have to be responsible in the country. And Liberians, when people start coming out after these charges have been out there and they say, oh, that Wishon, please, I want you to use your brain and look in the cases. Nobody's wishing anybody here. Let's listen to the director of police as he explains this case. This will be our first case on the docket. Let's listen to him briefly and hear what he had to say as it relates to the Samuel Jackson case.
The key findings in this investigation are as follows. The investigation has established a body of evidence that cannot be ignored. Number one, we established that there was a pattern of prior violence. There's credible and corroborated evidence indicating that the victim was subjected to repeated physical violence over time, which is supported by witness account, photographic evidence, and documented communication, which are copyrighted, time-stamped. First, cause a backward fall resulting in hair trauma, including contusion, laceration, and hemorrhage. This is not a random or isolated injury, as it is linked to a chain of previous traumatic occurrences. 5, we look at neglect and duty of care. Evidence further establishes that the victim had a known medical vulnerability, which occasionally resulted in seizures. Yet, the suspect continued to supply the stimulant. The victim was left alone in a locked environment without supervision. This constitutes a serious breach of duty of care with foreseeable risk to human life. 6, we'll look at the post-incident conduct. The investigation also identified failure to promptly inform law enforcement, and there were indicators that the scene was altered or tampered with before the police even had access to the scene. These actions are legally significant and they form part of the evidentiary records. The current status, a full autopsy report will give further clarification on the extent of internal injuries, while the toxicology analysis is ongoing and expected to be done within 1 to 2 weeks, or we could get it earlier. Based on the totality of evidence, the Liberia National Police has formally charged Mr. Samuel P. Jackson with manslaughter, negligent homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment of another person in violation of Chapter 14, Subchapters A and B, Sections 2, 3, 20, and 23 of the Revised Penal Code of the Republic of Liberia. The matter will be immediately forwarded to court for adjudication. Now, let me give our position, and I'll be clear. The Liberia National Police does not determine guilt. We do not substitute public opinion for judicial process. We act when the evidence meets legal threshold. The accused, Mr. Jackson, remains presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This case.
Stop right there. This is very important, Liberian people. Mr. Jackson is presumed innocent until convicted in a competent court of law. This is important. These charges are brought on by the state based on the evidence that they are going to present to the court. Under no circumstance are we saying Mr. Jackson is guilty. This is something that's trending in the country that we're going to talk about. Patrick, I'm actually going to start with you here. The case began. Honorable Coleman listed a bunch of acts against Mr. Jackson. Manslaughter is one of the charge. Reckless endangerment. He went on and on to list these charges. Currently, Mr. Jackson is at the Moria Central Prison. He will be there and be forwarded to court, I'm thinking tomorrow, and then he goes before the judge. Patrick.
Without delving into the nitty-gritty of the case, I like to just say that this police has operated meticulously. Have you observed the emotional intelligence demonstrated for the most part by this police? At a certain point in time, people thought this was done. This was a done deal. It was an over case. It was just the usual Liberian way that things will just happen and nobody goes to account for it. At the end of the day, after hearing from Mr. Jackson, after hearing from witnesses, after hearing from his lawyers and other people, after observing the crime scene, and perhaps later on you will read exactly the police statement. After hearing all of those, the police moves on with charges. It says a lot, but his rights were observed. Mr. Jackson was allowed to go back home for a while. At some point, people say, oh, the police allowing the main house to be tampered with and all of that. I think you remember. But they did not have the search warrant at that point, and the police inspector general made that very clear today. This is remarkable. This is a departure from the past where people did not need a search warrant to move in a haste and break in people's homes and start just doing unorthodox things. This time around, this was a surgical and meticulous investigation. And now, as you said very well, a person is presumed innocent until that person is guilty, proven guilty. So Mr. Jackson, as it is right now, has to prove that he's innocent. He's presumed innocent. He goes to court. And that is what this country is all about, should be about. That is what all of us should encourage, that once somebody is accused, that person is not guilty, that person should have his or her day in court. And this is what Mr. Jackson would do. I applaud the police for taking its own time to do this investigation and coming up with the findings. This police has proven to be very professional, and you can sense and see exactly what this police has done. Now, moving on to something else, I like the fact that even people in the opposition are yearning for justice, not only for Tony, but for Mr. Jackson, because there's two ways here: justice for either his late wife, Tony, or Mr. Jackson. And everybody is now wishing justice. I saw a comment here, and the president said, you expect the opposition people to go there when that kind of case happened, the kind of way it happened. Well, so at least people are now figuring out that we do not need to appear, when something we presume was so negative. But yeah, so, I mean, this is for us a great day in terms of providing an opportunity for people to prove whether they are innocent or, guilty. You are muted.
And Patrick, you said something before I go to Minister Sano about the professionalism of the police force. This is a very sensitive case. Women groups in the country, other people say, oh, the case was not going fast enough. They could not use public sentiment. They had to follow procedure. They had to make sure Mr. Jackson's rights are respected. They are observed to make sure, because if I'm accused of something that heinous in Liberia, I want to make sure all the proper protocols are followed. And I think the police did a great job in this case. Brother Sandler, before you come in, let me play this brief video when Mr. Jackson was being delivered over to the temple, not the temple, just about the South Beach this afternoon. Let me play briefly this video. Uh-oh. Can you guys hear it? Okay, I apologize. I don't think this stuff actually has some voicemail on it, but let's just watch this video. He was being delivered over to South Beach. The video actually got muted on this video online, so you would not hear the sound. But let's just watch briefly. I think he's being delivered to South Beach. And that's how he was delivered there today. All protocol was observed just to make sure everything is done right. And there he goes. He in South Beach. And the police had to deliver him over. And that's it. At the end of the day, everything went as planned. Brother Sando, your take on this issue and the delivery. Yes, Thomas, that did not have an audio. That's how he came in. So, but go ahead. I will find another one with audio. Go ahead, Brother Sando.
I know there's a trend for people to try to politicize these kind of cases. So given my position, I will refrain from saying certain things, except that I would just want to commend the LMP for the professional manner and form in which they continue to conduct themselves. The provocation from some members of the public vis-a-vis the opposition can be so tempting. You recall very well when this incident occurred, there are some group of misguided young people who assembled at the home of Mr. Sam Jackson and were basically saying things that they know little about. It has turned out that the police, having carefully investigated, now found prima facie evidence upon which Mr. Sam Jackson is being charged for negligence, homicide. As these things unfold in our society, there's something that we have to learn from there. When a life is lost, precious life for that matter, is lost, just have to put aside our political garment and give respect to whoever is involved and allow the law enforcement authority to do what it's supposed to do. That's just a simple thing you can do as a citizen of the country. For them to have a symbol and begin to chant battle cry, if to say this, the death of this young lady was another political event. It was, I mean, they didn't portray a good picture of the young people in the country. They didn't portray a good picture of Liberia. Mind you, this is a citizen of a foreign country. She came here, she died on Liberian soil. So as a government, as a state, we had the obligation to treat this matter seriously.
Right.
By doing so, we convince our South African counterpart. I mean, it happened, we can't reverse it. But as a country, we did our best to investigate. And the truth eventually will be established in the court. So I just want to say that the LMP has done well, in spite of all of the attempt by some members of the public, the opposition, to make the thing appear like another political case. They stood their ground, exercised professionalism. They were not drawn into the unnecessary back and forth that others wanted. And they done their part. Mr. Jackson can now hire the best team of lawyers to go to the court to defend him. Another thing that the public should also learn from this case is that the government is not interested in silencing anybody.
Thank you. I was going to say that.
It's not interested. Mr. Jackson has been around for a very long time, and given the person he is, I mean, I don't think he posed any threat to the Liberian government for which we want to silence him. The situation that happened at his house was very unfortunate. Like I said, a life was lost. And as a government, we had the obligation to investigate and establish what actually went wrong. That has been done. The court is there. The last time I listened to Mr. Tue, he said he believed in the justice system. Even Mr. Jackson believed in the justice system. I believe if the police wanted to target Mr. Jackson wrongfully, they would have charged him for murder. But to tell you how professional they were, they knew charging for murder wouldn't suffice in the court. So they did an investigation, and on the basis of what they discovered, those charges have been levied against him. So we are a country, and I mean, trying to undermine the rule of law doesn't help anybody. We are free, we are at liberty because they rule, law and order in the country. So we have to respect the law. When you see law enforcement officers going somewhere to investigate, do not try to obstruct them. Give them the time to do their work. That's what they are trained for. You are not trained to investigate. I just want to make those initial comments regarding this case, and it's unfortunate that she died that way, but we'd like to wish Mr. Jackson well. He cannot go to court to prove his innocence. Thank you.
Yeah, the government has to do its job. Sometimes in the country, Honorable Pierre, there is a tendency in our country, especially when somebody in the opposition or so-called not in government, he or she commits a crime against the people of Liberia, people politicize it if to say the person should not be charged in the country. If we have disorder in the country, the government cannot function. Luckily, the government does not pay attention to that. I love what Minister Sando said. The government has no interest whatsoever in silencing anybody in the country for any kind of reason. Now, the process has been followed. The police has done its job. Nothing uncovered. Everything is in the open. And I think this is a fair presentation being done by the police, Honorable Pia. Your position as we close on this issue with Honorable Samuel Jackson. You're muted, sir.
So Dualu, there is no position that I will have. If you observe keenly, one of the things that have happened since the advent of this situation is that we have allowed it to remain in the court of the police. They've been in charge. The police is also an arm of the government. They've been doing the investigation. They have been doing all the questioning, and we thought it was important to remain that way. They have reached at where we are. Like the IG said, individuals, even when charged, are presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. The government looks forward to justice being dispensed, and like someone said, I don't know who said that, justice being dispensed does not necessarily mean Dualu is accused of something and Dualu is guilty. Once you find Dualu guilty, then that's justice. If the legal process acquits Dualu, then there is injustice. So yeah, when you want to go in these kinds of processes, the goal is to find out what went wrong, and whether it's a judge sitting behind his seat that is making the determination because maybe you got a judge trial, or it's a group of individuals called jurors who will be making a decision because you chose juror trial. Their funding or fundings will represent the decision of the court. We look forward to not just that trial, but we hope that it is done speedily so that whatever defines justice at the end can be attained. I've known Sam for a long time, politics aside and every other thing aside. He's been a big brother, but the law is blind. The law does not recognize friendship. It does not recognize brotherhood. And so we look forward to seeing the legal process unfold and to ensure that justice is dispensed in the end. We wish everyone involved in this process well. I also hope that the young lady is resting well with the law, or resting in peace, as many people will say. Her passing is unfortunate. She's young, or she was young. Condolences again to her family, to everyone associated with her. And now that everything is playing out now, and will end up in the court of law, we look forward to that process. That's all I could say.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Mr. Namwe, I don't know if you are following the Samuel Jackson case. Your comment? Yes, sir, your comment.
So thank you, and yes, I did follow the case today on social media, but also follow a bit on the discussion on this platform. For me, there are a couple of takeaways I gave in this. What the police has been able to demonstrate is the ability to understand the law, to understand the procedures of the law, and then to be able to apply the law on the basis of the law. So many, you will recall that when this thing first came out as a result of somebody who blew whistle, the police got involved in the process, and we saw all of the agitation from Mr. Jackson. And eventually, despite everything else, he was taken by the police. He went to the police station. And there were initial discussions. His rights has been protected by the police, notwithstanding all of the provocation that he exhibited in the initial stages, i.e. calling the police Gestapo and all those kinds of things. When they were not yet clear with their charges and all of that, they allowed Mr. Jackson to go with his lawyers. And today, they were very clear based on all of their investigation. They saw probable cause to be able to charge Mr. Jackson. And there are a couple of charges that he has. And so for me, it's important that the police has been able to demonstrate the rule of law, being able to follow the procedures and then the processes. And this is the way it's supposed to be. So whether you are agitating, whether you are, it does not, none of those matters. What matters is the rule of law. And this is what the police have been able to demonstrate today. So he has been charged. As the police say, they don't pass judgment based on their investigation. They found probable cause. They've charged Mr. Jackson. I think there are probably 3 or 4 charges that have been levied on him. And so now, tomorrow, he goes to a judge, and a judge will be able to decide whether those charges, are substantial enough to warrant an investigation and warrant a trial. But I think what this nation has been able to demonstrate is that regardless of who you are, and the justice is blind, they will accord you your protection where it's necessary and all that kind of thing. So those are my comments on this very case. And I'm very proud about the performance of the police in this very matter.
I couldn't agree with you more. And Gina talking, that me talking, Gina say Prophet Key and Samuel just will be in the scene. So I'm going to be a young week because he's your problem. Gina, when you get me in trouble in there, where you Patrick, I just uploaded that video. I don't know if you want to go to that video first.
But just play the video. I beg before you transition to Sonny. I want to
okay, let me play the video. Let me play the video.
And he's still on our custody, and we are there with him. And we rest assured that one of the process will lead to will be on the side of the law.
Who is that? Get close.
We expect that the charge, whatever the charge or charges may be, he will be the happy of the law.
Patrick, who's that? You talking?
That should be Greaves. I think his name is Greaves. Councilor Greaves.
Councilor Greaves got an SSR a whole lot.
That was Patrick. I'm gonna leave it, man. Don't balance me. That love
you know the funny thing that happened, the man holding the spoon reporter. They want to say, people close your coat. You hear the voice in the background.
but let's get to another topic here, Patrick. Though the people not gonna sue or I mean a lawyer that our network won't be sued. But let me say this. Look, Senator Dillon says something today that is truthful. And it's comical, but I want us to talk about it briefly. And the point Senator Dillon was trying to make, in fact, if you have not heard what Senator Dillon said, I uploaded like a 40-second video here. He was a whole day in 1 hour power bar, Patrick, now who get the power? Like brain people or like Joe, we didn't get the power. That listen to Senator Dillon for it. I beg you, let's listen to Dillon.
You have power. You have power. We don't get for you. We will know how to do power and meeting power. Then you say you can't buy for it. That's small children talk there. Seriously, job we have power. We don't get for a lot. We will know how to manage power and meeting power. Then say our power is take power. We can't buy for it. Since 2024, we can rest in our ear with. 2029 job we are coming about. 2029 coming. By the time you get in the money, this citizen get it. 2029 coming or 2029 coming. You hire 2018 to 2023. We took it from you. We will not to keep power. We will not to manage power. Then you say they think we're on your lab. We take it.
Yeah, what the men are saying. They say they want they don't talk about because they want cheat. They won't get budget to be here coming.
So this sounds like a person who is really fed up with all these threats of.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish more,
You have
yeah.
to respond to people who tell you 2029 coming. So the 2029 coming, it coming for who?
One person?
It's coming for one group of people. Other people, they be sitting down there 2029 can it pass?
Yeah.
I have always said that after 2029, we'll be talking about 2035. That's 6 years after. And then when 2035 comes, we'll be talking about 2041. 6 years again added. So instead of talking about these years, they all pray for long life fresh.
Thank you.
Because the way we living now, everything that they're happening. Some people who gave it say yesterday, they didn't even know they were talking about 2029. So we still got 2026 to end, and then you come to 2027 to come and end.
Don't make it worry. Don't make it worry.
Come on, 2029 to come and reach to October, and all those kinds of things. And you are talking about 2029 coming. Okay, let 2029 come now. The point I want to make is, for those of us who have covered politics in our country, and those of you who have been political people for a long while, you know very well that to win election in our country over the last 20 years, and I'm counting from 2005 to now, brother, you have to win certain areas.
Oh, okay.
One of the areas is Montserrat. Number 2, you got to win Nimba. Nobody has won an election in our country in first round and second round. Second round, you win election. You win Nimba. You win Lofa. Well, Lofa, in 2017, they say they won, I don't know how many counties and Tony. But Lofa alone, plus other votes, propel somebody to second round. So the point I'm making is there are electoral. So you got to know which counties you will win before you talk about the 2029 are coming. You start putting fear in, 2029 coming. Besides that, the work of the government, we just talk about to win 2029, year on year bidding, what the thing is said. Sports academy. Not only one sports academy, you had a footballer who was president for 6 years. He based sports academy. He said, "Now a job."
Freedom ball. The
government of Joseph Boakai is building a sports academy in this country. Not only one, they're building 2 or perhaps even 3, because I hear they added Cape Mount to it.
Yeah.
Besides that, they are building a sports park in Bon County for the first time. You're having a sports park not in Montserrat, but in Bon County. They are building CH Rennie Hospital that got destroyed 2021.
250 bedrooms.
The fire gutted CH Rennie Hospital 2021. 2022 key, they passed, they promised, and they ain't happy. They're building now CH Rennie Hospital. They are building the streets. In Kakata, you will be the place, you're going to be there. They are building the economic zone in Grand Bassa County. They are building the road from Monrovia through to the southeast, connecting. They're having yellow machines spread across 15 counties across this country. You're going to be all the 15 counties for the yellow machines. They're going to build a road from Menekoma to Vonjama. You're going to be the place. They're building a road from Rabosport to Mandina, and the place you're going to be. They're building a road from St. Paul Bridge all the way to Clay, Benning, going all the way to what the place said, Cape Mount, what the border needs a bow.
Yeah.
They're building 4 lanes, 4-lane road. You're going to beat that place. That place you will beat for the 2029. So the 2029, my boy, let it come. Let's see.
Let it come. And besides that, additionally, the government is pushing to add, Mr. Nambo can verify it, close to over 400 megawatts of power, hopefully before 2030. So what they're talking about, the issue here is the focus that the president can always say, Mr. Nambo, I'm coming to you. My focus is not the next elections. It is the next generation. And what I believe is, Mr. Nambo, if you take care of the next generation, the next election will take care of itself. Your position, Mr. Nambo.
So people's ability to talk about continuity, it's a function of performance. It's as simple as that. Majority of the people disengaged with the CDC because they did not perform. Period. There's nothing magical about that. They promised to provide jobs for 1 million people. 1 billion people, they never did. They promised to build coastal highway. They never did. They promised they harmonized people's salary that made people poor. I did a whole write-up on my page the last time in terms of where is the lie. You hear these people say, oh, Joe Walker and the UP lied to come to power.
Mm-hmm.
And so to lie now to maintain power is difficult. But where is the lie that we stated in our campaign? We said they had turned Liberia into a drug, to do where it became a place where people could just do drugs, which were killing our people. Where was the lie in that one? We talk about corruption. Where was the lie? The U.S. sanctioned how many officials of government? How many cases that we have now? Where is the lie in that one? You harmonize people's salaries, you made them poor. Where is the lie in that one? Huh? You did this, you did that. Where is the lie? So it's a function of performance. And the Bible is very clear. I can't remember the portion, but I know it says that to silence your critics has to be about what you do in the truth. So some of the things that Patrick was mentioning, we are building the roads. You can't hide that.
Nope.
You can't hide that. It's tangible. There was no pavement between Salaye and going to Vonjema. You can't hide that. There's no pavement. There was no pavement from Menikoma coming to Vonjema. You can't hide that. There was no power in Foya, Bolahun, Masa Bolahun, Foya, Vonjema, all these places. You can't hide that. There was no current in Buchanan. You can't hide that. Nothing in Greenville. You can't hide that. Johnsonville, Brewerville, all these different places where Minister Pierre is there. There was no current. You can't hide it. We didn't have a 4-link connection coming from how you call this place, from Bowadasa coming. You can't hide it. So we're not talking 2029. We are focused on what we said we would do between 2024 and 2029. If we deliver, you already finished failing on your failing record. And that is precisely what as the senator was saying to them, if they didn't understand it. You fail. So the people refuse you. But now you have a group that is performing. How can you say this is now your power?
Who gave
No, it's not possible. It's not possible.
So Senator was right.
It's difficult for them because what they've done will be their yardstick for measurement. What we are doing is the yardstick for measurement.
Correct.
Then we put all two on the table. Who perform better? That's all I would say.
Nobody running for debate anymore. You will come to that debate. Mr. Sano, let me come to you. Let me ask you this question. We're going to get a little bit serious. These boys literally have every single thing of government at their disposal. They abuse it. They spend millions, tens of millions of Liberian people money running campaigns throughout the country. They destroy the image of this country. We were international pariah. They are talking about our power, our power. The power belongs to the Liberian people. Destroy the fabric of this country. The top government officials in our country were sanctioned internationally. We were going down the drain. Nothing was being done right in the country. The president himself had no interest in the leadership of the country. Why would any rational person give this kind of people power again ever, given that they want a future for their children, Minister Sano? On mute, brother.
To rightly answer your question, and I've said this on the show before, that seditions are not patriotic people. These are a group of people who see George Weah above everything else. If sedition had a free will, they would build monument for George Weah at all of the border points so that people can prostrate and worship his statue. Unfortunately, that latitude is not available to them. But what I want to say secondly is that I've learned how to disrupt my opponent when they are making mistakes. It is good for the CDC to take few doses of tranquilizer and say that coming to power. It is good. It's good for them to live in that state of daydreaming and say they're coming back to power. It's good. There's a 3 year in opposition. You see how they are lackluster. They don't have the gravitas to bring any meaningful opposition together to speak with one voice. They cannot do it. Because the reason why that would not happen is because the CDC has an appalling record. That record is like a sticking corpse in a casket. Nobody want to smell it. Nobody want to share in that burden. And so even those who in opposition, they say, I'd rather work for myself than to ride around George Weah because I can't live to see George Weah become president in the country again. Many of them said that to me in private.
Oh, yeah. In the open, we got a bunch of videos.
Yeah. So there are people who would be in opposition for the sake of being opposition because we don't want to have a one-party state, but they're not there to support George Weah to be president. That's the first disincentive for Mr. Weah. The next thing here is, I don't think there's any parallel between what the government has done, what the government is doing, and what George Weah and his people did here for the last 6 years. We came here to rescue the country from a hellhole, and that has effectively happened. We have beaten them on every front: development, governance, rule of law, building the country's international image. We have beaten them face down on every front.
Every front.
So where are they going to compete? On harmonization? On criminality? Bad governance? Bad rules? What will inform George Weah campaign manifesto for 2029? Now we are coming back? Okay, it's good. Saying about slogan, you can win the election, it's good. I like the way President Braga is proceeding.
Yeah.
He has urged every member of his cabinet not to focus on the next election.
Correct.
Focus on the job that you do. When you deliver the result, you will justify your inclusion. You will justify your second term. I like that. And the moment President Braga made that pronouncement at that cabinet meeting, moving forward, you see every cabinet official, every sector of the government is focused on delivering.
Exactly.
That's how you put your team into perspective. That's how you provide a marching order for the team to deliver. Because the goal is not to be focusing on the next election and you only perform like the CDC did here. CDC was scrambling over 2023, and when they finally got there, they bit more than what they could chew, and you followed them off. They couldn't swallow it. So for us, we are focused on delivering. The arrest agenda for inclusive development, building the roads. I was just on the radio this evening, and I was telling the audience that the government has made a lot of progress in road infrastructure. There are people who do business in certain part of the country, for example, the southeastern region. People used to take days or weeks to reach their destination.
Weeks.
Following the intervention the government made on that road, in that corridor, people take hours now to move. And that pliability of the road has affected a lot of things. Transportation, the price of goods and services and everything. So people who live in this experience will appreciate the fact that they have a government that is not sitting in Morovia and dancing buka.
No.
A government that has deployed an autoport approach to addressing the bad road condition is working very effectively. They have a government that is fighting corruption and leading by example. So we have nothing to fear.
Mm-hmm.
Democracy is a competition of ideas.
Yeah.
If George Weah got so much confidence in his performance record, then you can raise a hand. They got something to fear. They cannot come to debate because they are ashamed of their record, and that record is haunting them. And it's going to haunt them into perpetual opposition. That's how.
I'm going to say this. Mr. Minister Sando, thank you so much. Minister Pia will close out on this topic. No Liberian citizen, for what I'm seeing in the country, will vote for anybody again if you don't go for debate and you tell the people your vision for the country, especially if you're governed before. Honorable Pia, let's close on this topic. We'll go to our next topic, sir. Who got it?
Dualu, my work is not to discuss or challenge people's imagination. If ANC said they will win the election 2029, so be it. We wait for 2029. My job is to talk about what we're doing as a government, consistent with the desire that brought us to power. That's what we'll continue to talk about. The president said something today when he was commissioning a set of new officers. He gave a story. I don't know whether that's a story or parable. He said there was a man and his son, and they were walking or moving towards a distance, and they had a donkey. So they argue. They didn't want to, give the donkey a hard time by saying let two of us walk on the donkey. So the boss said, okay, Daddy, you get on the donkey and I will closely walk with you. As they moved, people saw them. I said, how can I open this? You're sitting on the donkey and you're allowing the small boy to be walking behind you in the house. Then the papa said, yeah. Say, yeah. So, okay, let's change it. We got the boy complaining. And the boy got on the donkey and then the son started walking. As they moved, the brother will grew and said, what kind of people there? They may allow the old man to be walking while he's sitting on top of the donkey moving. The papa say, yeah, his son say, yeah. So what do we do? So the two all get on the donkey together. The next group of people, the men say, look at the free people, and they want to kill the donkey. Two men say now, one donkey, what can throw it on? So the president said, the papa says, so what do you want to do now? They say, they'll forget about anybody around the donkey that walk behind it. They see the donkey walking, when the two of them walking, they say, most two people we ever saw on earth, look at the donkey going free or walking behind it. So the president ended that narration by saying, you're talking to the newly commissioned official, say, you got to pay attention true because you're serving people. But don't necessarily mind the complaint because sometimes, no matter what you do, people will complain.
Yeah.
These people were on their journey with a donkey. They tried 4 approaches. In all 4 people complain. Even if they brought a 5th one, people will complain.
So
let your focus be the job and just be sure that you're doing the right thing and not too much focus on the complaint. So anybody can hallucinate about what will happen. I don't talk too much about the future based on the way I see life.
Yeah.
Because of some of the experiences I have had. I left my house and was joining the president to go to Japan. And my sister wasn't sick. I mean, she cooked for me that morning before I left the house. But that same day, in the evening time, she was dead. I have my brother in Buchanan. Most of the people who associate with me who have gone there, they know him. He made my place. I guess he had his own dreams and vision. But by times ahead, he was not sick. On Sunday morning, I lay down, people calling me. When I answered the phone, it was to tell me that he was dead. Who knows who will reach 2029? Even me, who's sitting down here talking, who's serving as information minister, what guarantee do I have?
No.
That I will still be here breathing by 2029? Live the life you have now and let the times ahead determine what will be, and that is if you reach to that time ahead. That's all I can say.
That's a very, very great way to close this conversation. Nobody knows tomorrow. The focus should be now. And I think the president always talks about it. Let's worry about now. Let's do the people's job now. There was a period, Mr. Namwe, where in the country, for example, People complain, oh, they play them, what they're breaking down, what you know we do within places then. And it seems what the president has said, whatever we break down, there is already a plan to do something there before those places are broken down. And the government has continued on this very path, not just keeping the promises, but keeping the promises while at the same time improving the people's life. Citizen journalism are beginning to do this. They themselves could go around every single day. I try to play some of these videos here. Let's watch this video. I think this one is around what the place did, but let's listen to this young man as he's highlighting some of the project going on in the country.
How you doing, my Liberian people? I'm ready with some more. I mean, we see now, right after the demolition, they have a whole lot of things to say. How the government just trying to break down people horses, they break down people shop and things from near the road. What they know is they will not do any work on the road. They just doing it to blindfold the Liberian people. They here now the men and start on the road. So I really know what they will say. They the men and start working on the road. The men working on the road. This is around the simple bridge. This is the road. The men taking from Douala straight to Bowater side. They go, you're looking at the road will be wow. The road will be wow. No more tight road in Liberia. No more narrow road in Liberia on the JNB government. The road will be very wow. My people, hey, go! I can imagine how beautiful it will be. And the good thing about the road is I see the men working on. Right after this side, the player seeing the car passing so that the next era, right after this side complete, the vehicle will start using this side while the men will be working on the other side. The road will be very wide. So the people will make your sheen. You just watch and see.
Honorable Nangwe, this is somebody, regular Liberian citizens. These videos, they're coming every day. One thing I do every single day, I scour social media, trying to find 2 or 3 of these videos and highlight them because it is happening. It goes back to focusing on the job beforehand and not focusing for the future. The Minister Pia said, nobody knows tomorrow. Let's focus what we have before us and fix the country exactly what the president preaches every day. Your position here, sir.
You know, this is something that every government will pray for your policies to resonate. Yeah, English, man, I know whether that is right word. Huh? For your policies to resonate with ordinary people, meaning there is increased believability in the government actions. So the people that will spread the news now, it's not going to be Minister Pierre or Minister Sino or send language in like Facebook and all these kinds of things. This guy is passing critical information in the tone and manner in which people will understand.
Thank you.
Nobody's paying this guy. You don't even know his name.
No.
But what the government is doing, what the government has promised to do, has resonated with him as an ordinary citizen. And so now he has joined the government side. And this is the beauty of the technology now that is placed at the disposal of citizens in this era. And you have citizen journalists. This is not folks from the Ministry of Public Works trying to do this. This is not GMB's son, who everybody has categorized as pro-government. It's an ordinary citizen. So he's providing verification news that you all thought that the breaking down of places determined to have been in the right of way was a charade. The government were not ready and all those kinds of things. But here we are now. Poor work is happening. What do we have to say now? Because there has been a case before, maybe.
Yeah.
Huh? People just go and break down and they don't do anything.
That's right.
But here is what I would tell people as somebody who is part of the government. It takes resources to be able to do those demolitions. It makes absolutely no sense. We have a situation of very tight space for resources to expend those resources on corridors that you are not yet ready to do anything on.
That's right.
The Ministry of Public Works have been very strategic. I just read a release from them that indicated that over the next couple of weeks, they are going into their alley opening program, and they will be focused on county, probably Monserrado and another county. I can't quite remember, but they've made public announcement. Because the thing we see in this country is that when government will get ready,
Yeah.
And if they are targeting Monserrado and whatever country there is, that means they already have plans for neighborhood roads, for community roads in those communities. But the joy of all of this, what this is demonstrating for us, is that the thing that government is doing now is resonating with ordinary people. And so they are the one now that are propounding this information, to people that are listening to them. And I think this is good. Every government wants that resonance.
You could not have said
But
it
what you
better.
are doing, yeah, is resonating with regular people. Then you're on the right trajectory, and I think it's a plus.
Yes, the government is doing that. Look, young people, I'm going to say this, and you said something, especially with the alley opening. Please consider this an additional announcement to you guys that the government is making preparation to open the alleys, not because government want to break your house down. This is not the intent. The intent is to create ease and improve your standard of living in your community, to make sure the water flows properly, to make sure there is no stoppage there, to have access just in case for public health issues. Another thing I want to say to young people that are making video, I saw a young man out of San Luis County. He made a beautiful video about the condition that he used to go through. He and a bunch of motorboy. The only reason why I cannot play that video is because he cursed inside. He was cursing. He was so happy, he was cursing. If you are not cursing, I will play that video here. If you want to make a video for us to capture your video, don't curse inside, because sometimes we don't have time to clean it up. Don't curse inside. Make a decent video. We will try and highlight this video. But this is what a young man said, Sandro. He said, listen, we used to leave from Lexington to get to Buchanan. This and that were taking days. He was so excited. He said, few hours they were in Buchanan on Kota. He was so joyous. He said, I cannot believe that I drove. I didn't have to stop until I wanted to stop. I was in Buchanan in no time. The issue here is, this is the ease of the standard of living that I talk about every day, that we talk about on the show here. This is exactly what the government is doing to you guys. And the disbursement of these yellow machines. And I hope, Honorable Samuka, and his team hastening the process for these machines to be disbursed to our people. When this starts to happen, let me tell you something. We play Blood here one day. I will try to find the video while we're talking. Most of the women over there, they were so excited. They say, car not stopping here before. We need to see no car can stop here. Nowhere to say our goose can get rotting. This is what we are talking about, the improvement in the standard of living. You see, I will put on no good thing. Sound of your comment on this issue.
So, Dwadu, success has many children. That's how I want to put it. Success has many children. And come to think about it, our country is lagging behind on many fronts. People are yearning for development. So when Liberians across the country see that their government is doing something good, and there are people who try to use the social media platforms to misrepresent what our government is doing, the citizens have said to themselves, but we too have our social media platform. Why are you trying to discredit the government? We can use the same space to give credit to the government and to also market what the government is doing. That's exactly what you see happening across the country. People are agitated by the fact that other city Monrovia and decry almost everything the government does. Government bringing yellow machines, some people vest. Government opening alleys, some people vest. Government signing agreement to build a road, some people vest. So these are the people that have agitated the citizens and have gotten them to resort to citizen journalism across the country. It's a good thing that they have taken onto themselves to showcase what the government is doing across the country. And that by itself is sufficient to shut the opposition. And, there are people who take politics to be just about negativity. And, we see them every day. They come on the radio and they just criticize in the name of being opposition politician. So the citizens themselves, owing to the fact that they have their own space, regulated by themselves, welcome the idea that they're going out there showcasing what the government is doing, be it in the road, infrastructure, energy, and you just name it. And, it's so good. These people have made the work very easier for the government because, like Sam said, nobody inducing them. They're doing it voluntarily. You know, when people who are close to the government, partisans of the ruling party or affiliate of the alliance do that, somebody will say, "Oh, you're being paid. You're doing it because of political reasons." But with citizens, like that man who video you mentioned, driving from Lexington in Sando County to go to Buchanan, that road used to be very terrible. The RTI road. Today, that road is in good condition. So people stop along the road, do their videos, and put it on social media in appreciation of the government. Is good. And, you know, I think this, to a greater extent, has even helped to improve the very public image of the government, and, you know, increasing the government rating and everything, making people across the country to know what the government is doing. It's a good thing. Not influenced by the government, but being done by citizens themselves, suggests that they appreciate what the government is doing and they are very much aware and follow everything that's happening in the country.
I couldn't agree with you more. And today, the president was involved with the Rotary Club, and the Second Dimension website published something, but I'll listen to the president briefly before I just read an excerpt from this publication regarding the eye and ear clinic, I believe, at JFK Hospital. More improvement, something people can touch and feel in the country. Let's listen to the president. What the hell? 1 second. Why don't play? All right. What's going on? Is it frozen? Or is that me? Can you guys hear it?
No.
Okay, so let's go. Go ahead, Mr. President. Okay, so why it's not playing? Let me do this. I have a queue up here. I'm just going to read an excerpt from the publication. It's on the Executive Mansion website. There was a press release today from the president regarding this Rotary Club stuff. Let's build facility here for our people. This is what it's published. Anybody can check it out on the Executive Mansion website. President Bouaka urges Liberian as he officially launches the Rotary Club's Ear and Hearing Project at JFK Hospital, Thursday, April 2nd, 2026. JFK Hospital Center, Sanker, Monrovia, with support from the Rotary Club of Monrovia, the United for Good Rotary and Church A Incorporated, His Excellency President Joseph Yuman Bouakai Sr. has officially launched the Rotary Club's Ear and Eye Care Project at the John F. Kennedy Memorial Medical Center. During the launch, the Rotary Club, through President Bouakai, donated over 60,000 worth of hearing aid equipment to JFK Medical Center to facilitate the treatment of those with hearing deficiency. The Liberian leader and past president of the Rotary Club urged Liberians to emulate the Rotary by contributing to development through building facility that will make Liberia better for Liberians. All efforts should be made to build a facility here to improve the health sector for the majority of our people, the president said. So here's the issue here, though, Mr. Nangbe. $60,000 was donated to the Ear and Hearing Project over at JFK Hospital. An additional improvement in the country. We know a lot of people in the country have these issues. Now the president recognized that some of these supplies were given to enhance the issue across the country. So it seems almost everything the government is trying to tackle is to address the plight of the people and create some ease in the country. Mr. Damwe.
And again, Dwalu, all I can say here is when you set yourself up in a way that people begin to trust you and believe in you, people will be willing to join you in pushing your agenda. Creating access to critical health needs, health care for our people is a key objective of government. Okay? But if people don't see you as being ready, if people don't see you as following a plan that is well articulated, that is understood, and very clear for people to be able to follow, they'll be very reluctant in joining you. I mean, this is the way it is. It's as easy as ABC. In our agenda for inclusive development, it's very clear what we want to do every year in each of the critical sectors that we want to intervene in. But not just that, but the structures that we have in place to manage these different deliveries are credible enough. To the extent that private sector people can go and lobby outside and say we want to partner with the government. And these people will do their due diligence and they see what we're doing. But the Ministry of Health, there's a lot of things happening. And it's really, really sad that we have not succeeded in getting, the Ministry of Health on this show. I followed their Facebook page religiously. There's just so much that they are doing. It's not building new health facilities. They are delivering critical medical equipment. They are doing this, they are doing that. But I think they're not taking advantage of the platform that we have to be able to let the bulk of the people know what they are doing. And it's sad, So we have to continue to push to get the minister on this show or some of her deputies on this show. Let's understand what they are doing. So the partnership, with the government by the Rotary or whatsoever, for the delivery of or hearing aids or whatsoever thing they are doing is something that is laudable. Anything that we can do to improve the health condition of citizens is something that there should be no hesitation, from anybody in trying to take it. But the key point here is this is a demonstration of trust. People believe in our plans. That's one. Two, they believe in the infrastructure that we've put in place to deliver these plans. I think that is why now all of this is serving as an attraction to people, or even also our government, to be able to form this kind of partnership. Those would be my comments.
I agree. Good leadership is contagious. Welcome to the show, Carl. Minister Pierre, a lot of Liberians don't know much about the Rotary Club. When I was a little bit younger, I used to hear about it, but I didn't know much about it. Is there any history to the Rotary Club? I know they do a lot of charitable work in Liberia, and I love that they're contributing to JFK. I'm pretty sure they've done something like that in the past. Minister Pierre, your position on the Rotary Club and their contributions?
There are different institutions that I focus deeply on charity. I know the Lions Club is one of them. Many persons in Liberia are attracted to the Lions Club. We have Greater Monrovia Lions Club, Cinco Lions Club, this, that. What I've seen them doing is focusing on charity. I guess the Rotary Club does the same. There may be other deeper activities that they have that we who are not part of them may not know about, but at least we see their charitable nature. And so the donation you were talking about is crucial. The ENT, is that how they call it? ENT, that's how they call it, ears, nose, and throat. There's an area where people specialize. I know Dr. Freeman is our ENT doctor in country. I have gone to him multiple times. When I had pains in my ear, feeding it down my throat, and he will examine me and say, okay, nothing is wrong, and he will prescribe some antibiotic that is very effective. You take it, my medicine goes. So 2 times I've experienced it. I know he's a very good doctor. He has always sought assistance. One other time he was going to Western Liberia to provide free care for kids. Multiple people in different places can have ear, throat, and nose issue, and sometimes people don't understand what is happening to them. They would think that wish and all kind of things happen. So they started doing outreach, not just to cater to people, but to educate people that when they have those kind of issues, the first instance should be the hospital, rather than believing somebody has been bewitched. So there have been a few times they were writing resources, and I know on a couple of occasions I have made contribution for outreach they were having in the interior part of the country to provide services to people. So a $60,000 donation to them from the Rotary Club could go a long way in helping people, particularly in rural Liberia, who have not had opportunity to those kinds of care And we've been tempted to say, hey, the child, yeah, they're crying all day, nothing happening, they don't reach the child. They could help to save some real lives as they do those outreaches. I think that donation was good. I know that the Freeman, who runs the entire program, the JFK, could be a happy man. Not enough though, but it's an eye opener, and I would really, really encourage people who can help to always pay attention to the different sectors of the hospital. They're trying their best. There's the cancer unit. I know the doctor who is the acting head there, he didn't even have a unit. They were there part of the whole general stuff. And they wanted to open a little small section. They were reaching out to people. And then eventually they managed to open one day. Those are areas we got to focus on, because the cancer, all these things.
Yeah.
So people not going here, but if somebody get cancer, they're struggling with it. Know that, don't say that somebody feeling wishing there and all those kinds of stuff. So yeah, they're trying their best. There are specialized doctors who have come, and different units that have not been very active at the hospital. They try creating them. And outside of government's own support mechanism, they really need organizations and some private citizens who can help to complement what the government is doing to keep these different programs running.
Yeah, thank you so much, Minister Piako. Welcome to the show. I don't know if you've been following. We're talking about the ear, nose, and throat donation at JFK, or anything else on your mind for that matter. Welcome to the show, Carl.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I love the Rotary Club. I love all of these organizations that popped up in Liberia, international organizations that are charitable. I think their motto is service above self, or something cool like that. And that's such a beautiful motto, service above self. So the Rotary Club, I think, went to Liberia in the 1960s, if I'm not mistaken, and has been active since, giving, contributing. It's basically an organization of, kind of well-to-do Liberians who got together, business people, prominent, eminent citizens get together and decide that they're going to give back to the community. And that donation, I do have to say, is important. Here in Georgia, where I live in the United States, we are constantly being as private citizens to donate to hospitals, hospital, all kinds of different programs. So even in
Cole, I think you're having some difficulty with your connection. Yeah, you're going in and out, but we can hear you now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
okay, great. I was saying it's just beautiful to see that we still. Okay, let me go out and come back in.
Yeah, I think that's a better way to do it. Yeah, thank you so much. And today, I know what you call those guys, the guys from City Hall. And sometimes I hate to forget about City Hall, but before I go to City Hall, let's play President Bouaka a little bit as he was speaking today regarding the Rotary Club. Thank you so much, Albert, for sending me that video.
This is a very important contribution of the Rotary Club. Another contribution. For those of you who don't know much about the Rotary Club is a major partner of government that I know. I am even told that at the ELW hospital, some time ago, they had installed oxygen plant there. So I've been able to supply oxygen to many hospitals. But that's just part of it, because I've been a Rotarian and we know what the Rotary Club is capable of doing and what they have done in this country, even during the time of crisis. It's a club that have been involved with the communities. And there are a lot of programs that the Rotary Club has carried out before. I don't know whether some of the traditional programs like On Armed Forces Day, we used to carry baskets to communities, to the elderly. But there's a very important thing about the Rotary, and they stated clearly in their four-way test. And whatever you do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And will be beneficial to all concerned? The Rotary Club doesn't just respond to the moral responsibility of giving to people. It also helps to teach people to contribute to their society. And of course,
if you're interested in contribution to your society, the Rotary Club is one organization that kind of promotes that. And I think charitable work across our country is something that we can go back to. He's right. I remember even in Buchanan, sometime during Gala Day or some places, they can come bring these baskets around, try to make contributions. And that's a good thing. Big shout out to the Rotary Club for what they've done, especially for that program over at JFK. To finalize on that, let's play this short video from Morea City Police and the City Corporation. The guys are doing some good work. Sometimes we don't highlight those works at all, but it's important from time to time, especially whenever we criticize, we also have to highlight when they're doing good things across the country. And as they open some of these places in Douala, they're bringing order to Red Light, they're bringing order to Douala to make sure there is public safety. You have to highlight the City Police for what they are doing across the country. Let's listen to one of the commanders here. I think he was talking about Douala.
And people are enjoying themselves, and they are congratulating the Monrovia City Police and all the joint forces for this exercise, along with Mayor Shafat. But now we've been joined by another official of the Monrovia City Police. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good morning. What is your name?
My name is Colonel Divine Shamar. I'm the Deputy Director for Administration, Monrovia City Police.
Okay, so this exercise started on Sunday.
Sure.
And can you care to tell us what are some of the measures that you guys have in place for keeping it and maintaining it this way?
So something that I can tell you briefly, one of the major challenges in this country is sustainability. Starting something is one thing, and sustaining the process and maintaining it with sanity is another major challenge. But we are striving, we're fighting on it to see how better to maintain this process, to keep the streets, keep people off restricted areas. As you can see, both front and the back. I think in 20 years' time, this is the first time, to my knowledge, we tried some time ago. Douala was clear, but you can see today, since Sunday is much clearer and much wider. And we're trying to maintain the process. We're trying to sustain it. We're trying to tell marketers to go off the street, to go beyond restricted areas. Mind you, now in time past, you couldn't drive to Douala freely like this. Pedestrian, motorists, it was much more difficult for people to pass through Douala. And trust me, whenever you see a gang of people like this, tons of people like this, sometimes they are mixed up with criminals. And that's how we're trying to get people off the street, to allow, street vendors, street peddlers to go to a designated site and to allow free movement of citizens.
So are there any challenges of people?
That City Corporation call you was talking. Let me come back to you to finish your thought. And you can also tie in the City Corporation and making sure Red Light, Douala is orderly and people are passing freely, especially we all know the congestion in this area. So it's a good thing. Go ahead, Carl.
Yeah, I was just trying to give a shout out to the Rotary Club for their donation to the hospital. I think we need to see more of that from private citizens. It's your civic duty to take care of your country, not just leave everything with government. Here, like I said, we volunteer a lot where we live, and we also volunteer in Liberia. So it's beautiful to see. I think that's a sign that normalcy is returning to the country when you start to see people doing things like that. I also want to give kudos to Mayor Siafa in his efforts. It's not, it's easy for us to sit down and say, oh, the city looks like this, and oh, there's a problem, but it's a Herculean task. This is a massive problem, right? And the citizens themselves that want to see better themselves sometimes are not doing better. So you have to balance humanitarian issues with public safety, with health concerns, with a small budget, all of these things combined. So we all know that it's very difficult. And I love to sit on the show a lot of times and say, hey, this should be getting done. Y'all need to do better here. But at the same time, I have to say, when I see things happening in a positive direction, we must applaud and give kudos. Siafa, keep it up, do more. And we're here to applaud you and give you the moral support you need, because I know that small thing to clean up Douala, Red Light, all these places. Red Light at Peaceville, huh?
Yeah, Red Light at Peaceville.
All that's in there, yeah. I will see y'all.
Like you said, it's a Herculean task. It's massive. I mean, Monrovia, my guesstimation code, we probably at least 1.2 to 1.5 million people now in that city. Yeah, easy. Especially, Monrovia and its environment, of course, but that's a lot of people.
Yeah, my mother-in-law is in Douala. I mean, not Douala, she's in Broadville. So I got to pass through Douala to get to Broadville. I think she and Goff, I think even Gerald, all y'all in the same community there somewhere. Yeah. So I got to get in the car, go through Douala to get to my mother-in-law, my beloved mother-in-law. Mama, hello, if you're listening. And I easy.
Not easy.
I've been sitting in the car. Call, you still coming? I'm coming. And it's not because of just the traffic. It's because people are selling. They're jaywalking. There's all kinds of chaos. So I'm happy to see this, and hopefully it will not take me 2 hours to get to a place that should take me 20 minutes to get to next time I'm home.
Yeah, that would be pretty good, especially the widening of that road. But I'm not going to have you guys comment in. I saw this video. I don't know where this video is coming from.
About Eduardo?
Yeah, I know you got to run.
Beg your indulgence, it's past 10. I have to start. It's so good, Cole. You're talking about where I'm going. I'm going all the way to G4 Road.
Safe travel.
I have to leave the office down and go home to go rest.
Thank you. Thank you, yeah. And thank you for joining us. Happy.
I just wanted to just comment on the stuff with that you just talked about.
Yeah.
So don't forget, our president once headed the YMCA.
That's right.
All right, and so it's a service committed to young people. It's a service committed to humanitarian work. It's a service committed to voluntarism and all these kinds of things. So he gets excited by these kinds of things that the Rotary is doing. And you saw how passionate he was about it. He's even reminding, citizens about the historicity of the Rotary Club and what they do and all those kinds of things. But it's important to know that this is not new to him. He spent a significant amount of time of his life, heading the YMCA. And we all know why YMCA means to young people and those kinds of stuff. So I just wanted to have brought that to your attention. That what the Rotary Club is doing is something that he will appreciate. Clearly, there are institutions that are set up to be able to partner with government to address some of the issues that, and different communities are faced with, whether young people or women and, just different issues. It's part of the arrangement, in terms of partnership with non-governmental institutions, partnering with governmental institutions to deliver on the service. But again, for me, if there's no plan, then it's difficult to have this kind of partnership working together.
Thank you so much. Yes, like I said before, and it's a reminder to people who call themselves Liberian citizens, all of us, true citizenship is service to fellow citizens. And that's true citizenship. So the Rotary Club is doing something great. And I saw this video today. I want to highlight it. Look, I hate to put a lot of onus on the multinational corporations that come to Liberia if we are not doing the part that we are supposed to be playing. If the EPA has a responsibility, they got to take care of that responsibility. If there is pollution going on, the government entity that are responsible, you got to remember, our people in the villages, they depend on these creeks and rivers for literally everything. Let's listen to some brothers out there, and then we'll talk about it before we go to the phone line.
My brother, the Chinese company that in here, I can blame the Chinese, but not too much. I will be able to tell you people this.
What you want to blame?
I want to blame our leader.
Okay.
Our leader, who is the, how you call it, the I can say, superintendent, pharmacy, representative, the tax in government. I blame them. Yes, thank you. 24 hours we sit here. The other G we can't, the father go in the company.
I charge that from the same water. Yeah. The diarrhea from drinking the water, and there's no other water we got to drink. They say only water we're drinking. We ask them for pump, no way. Even they're using a BB truck to passing in our town there, destroying our horses. My horse now crack from the truck.
So, Cole, I want to start with you. I mean, these concessions or these mining certificates or contracts, when they're given to company, and then we have villages in those areas, I don't know what we are doing. Well, we're not doing enough to make sure those villages are protected, to make sure, especially their water source, because we've been getting most of these videos. I saw her play one in Grand Bassa. There was another one somewhere in Nima, in Grand G. It's all over the country. They are polluting this water with heavy mercury, and people are dying. Like he called it diarrhea, but I know that's not diarrhea. Obviously, the child may have been. Something is happening, and we are not doing enough.
So, Dwalu, and I hope people are listening to this. We have a country that was established to protect people from this very thing. Our land sovereignty is at risk. Our future generations are at risk. When these people pass this dual citizenship bill, after it was rejected in referendum, meaning the citizens went to go vote, the citizens did not pass the referendum. Our lawmakers went and pushed it through anyway. And they said, well, you can still keep your citizenship in another country and become a citizen of Liberia. I said, this is not for us living in the diaspora who are Liberian. This is for something else, because I didn't need the dual citizenship bill. Many Liberians, we didn't need it. We go home, I'm called from God clan, nobody can tell me I'm not. Liberia has always been silent on the issue of dual citizenship, like many countries in the world are. Why were they making a big issue and saying we need dual citizenship law and all this kind of stuff? Now we're at a brink of a place where they're trying to push to make non-Negro citizens. Right now, people can come, Fulani people can come from Guinea, maintain their Guinean citizenship and buy land in Liberia and still be Guinean. Nigerians can come, maintain their Nigerian citizenship, Hausa, Yoruba, it doesn't matter, come to Liberia and maintain their Nigerian citizenship. Ghanaians, anybody that's Black can come to Liberia, maintain their nationality where they were born and be a Liberian citizen. They will not be allowed to vote. They will not be allowed, they will be allowed to vote. They will not be allowed to run for office. They will not be able to hold government positions. But guess what they can do? Buy land. Why would you want dual citizenship for any purpose other than buying land? Because you can't run for office. You can't do anything in government. So they protected their own jobs, but it didn't protect the citizens' land rights. The second thing they're trying to do now is give Chinese and others access to our citizenship, which again, they'll be able to, because of our dual citizenship law, they'll be able to maintain the Chinese citizenship and buy up Liberia. Right now, they don't even have the authority to buy up the land and actually own it. And look at what they're doing. And you always say our laws, our protectionary laws that are there to protect us, they're still finding ways around it. Then we should weaken it even further and allow these people to really, really deal with us. But the thing that is protecting the Liberian citizens right now is that that land is a concession. It can be reversed. So if they're violating the concession agreement, and Mr. Yuri Yakba-Wolo, I hope you're listening, if they are violating the concession agreement and poisoning our citizens, the concession needs to be stopped. Those people need to be investigated. If there's crimes committed, they need to be arrested. They need to definitely pay fines because the law allows for that. go back and review the environmental social impact assessment, make sure they're doing things right. Clearly they're not. Because the whole reason you do an environmental and social impact assessment before you give a concession is to make sure that the people are doing the right thing. And in this particular case, clearly they don't care about the lives of the citizens. They're there to enrich themselves. This is not investment, it's exploitation and extraction. And we continue to behave as though we're living in the 1920s, as if we have not come a long way, as if we have not educated ourselves, as if we don't understand this type of economic, social, and environmental degradation that happens when you bring these irresponsible hustlers into our country and call them concessionaires. We have to do better. We have to do better. First of all, I always say that on this show, Sam and Dwalu, we already not plenty. We already not plenty. Liberians are a rare gem in this world. We're not many. We're not looking like our cousin them in Nigeria that are wasting all over the world. We are rare. We are rare. You're talking about fewer than 6 million human beings, and most of those people are children and youth. And we're sitting down here allowing people whose population is a bazillion times more than ours to poison our children. What are we thinking? And what are we receiving in return? Who are the representatives and senators? And this is why, Dwal,
they do understand what they're doing, Cole.
The last thing I would say, Dwal, they understand that wickedness these people are in greed. They don't care. Do you know why the senators and representatives are not supposed to be involved in looking for investors for the country? Because they're the same people that pass these concessions into law. They usurp the function of the executive so they can get kickback. They're all running around looking for investors. Instead of protecting the people that empower them to protect them, they're looking for people to exploit the people. How can they sit in any good conscience and watch water of all things be poisoned in Liberia because somebody not put small thing in their pockets so they can go buy stupidness in European stores, Gucci and all kind of things, and be passing around, while the children in Bassa and Cape Mount and all these places, Nimba County, being poisoned. They're being poisoned. This is a serious thing. And I'm not going to sit here because, you know, I support the government and all of this thing has been going on even during President Sirleaf's time. When I was executive director for Coastal and Inland Waterways, one of the reasons they transferred me from maritime was because I was fighting against these same Chinese for digging up and dredging all of our inland waterways, our protected areas, our marshlands, our swamps.
They don't care.
Sifting through, say they're looking for sand, sifting through, looking for minerals, precious minerals. And at the expense of the local populations, they shifted water flows, they caused massive flooding. Nobody wanted to stop them. I raised alarm about this, but when they finished greasing hands, and stuffing pockets, nobody sees anything. Nobody, oh, y'all get called for there. You understand? So it's not that, so there's not people who see, but you have to have the courage to fight these people. You have to have the courage to fight these people. And I will continue to say this. This is not what you call investment. This is exploitation. No. When investors come, there's supposed to be a return on the investment. It should be a mutually beneficial exchange. What is the community benefiting from being poisoned? How much revenue is being generated through poisoning our people? Is it worth it? Is one Liberian life worth it? Y'all ghetto people out of there. Get them out of there. Nobody should even be crying. Dwalu, thank you for putting this on the show today. Get those people out of there. Shut them down. No Liberian company could go to China, open up an operation and poison Chinese people. They will kill you. You will end up being executed. China kills how many people a day? They execute people regularly, including Africans.
All day.
Africans get executed in China for little or nothing. They are sitting down here, the people doing all kind of stuff. I'm not calling for anybody's execution. I'm not a fan of execution. What I'm saying is, if you did this in China, that would be your punishment. You do it in Liberia, the representatives and senators, the BB people, they shake your hand, call you boss man. Y'all stop this thing. Respect yourselves. Our lives matter. Our lives are just as valuable as the lives of any other human beings in the world. We're not throwaway human beings, for God's sakes. And these are the things, the last thing I'll say on this issue, Dwalu, this is the reason the United Nations said the greatest crime against humanity in the history of the world was the transatlantic slave trade, and that we're still suffering the consequences as a people. This is the legacy of that. They still don't value our lives. They can do anything and make money at the expense of the lives of African people, and we must put a stop to it, especially we Liberians. Our country was established to protect our people from exploitation, not to invite it in.
Thank you so much, Cole. And this thing is a serious problem. And just for the record, before 2000, the Chinese were executing around 10,000 people per year. Right now, it's around 8,000 people. So they will come for me. I'm for execution. You know, but I am. I want to say this. I want to say this to people.
Except for Sam Jackson, if they find him guilty, y'all execute, y'all bring it back. But otherwise, I'm not in favor. When y'all find him guilty, y'all amend the law before you find him guilty so he can be punished. Then y'all take it back. Bring back execution. After he's prosecuted, do what you gotta do. Then you go the other way. Consider
FPJ, you are done, man. You are done.
Y'all just change the law now before he trial start. When you convicted, then you can apply it. Then you retract the law.
So just law for woman.
Unforgivable, unforgivable.
But Mr. Namwe, I want to say
yes,
this.
Sir.
We mentioned the lawmakers, and sometimes the lawmakers forget that they think they're going to be isolated from some of these bad legislation that they think they're passing because they hold this position. Like I said, we're not plenty. Look, anybody issue with a dual citizenship issue, Liberia is not in that position. We've made this argument here. At the end of the day, we are too poor, too still massively illiterate, to a point where we have no controls in the country. If you give that out, we will lose the sanctity of Liberia because we're not plenty. That's just that we have no control. We ain't got no money. Mr. Namwe, you saw the video. Our young people are being poisoned in these villages. About 2 months ago, I played a video here in Grand Bassa County. The people water drinking, the water source entirely decimated. No hand pump. The commissioners for these districts, the superintendents, some of them, I ask all the question, what do they fully understand the ramification of their actions in these locations? Sometimes the legislators will pass a bill, they don't even visit these areas.
Key phrase.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going on. We got serious problem. Go ahead, Mr. Namwe.
So key phrase, whether they fully understand. That doubt is a manifestation of the quality of people that are being elected in that house. I've said this over and over. If this country has to change, then that change must happen with the people that go in that house. There is so much power in that house to allow people who don't know their left from their right to be the one to lead on decision making.
Yeah, the least capable.
It's as simple as that. I've been around, I've witnessed this, and I've said that to a lot of people that have interest in politics. You all have the right skills, the right competencies to be agent of change in our society, want to be president. If you feel you want to work in the executive, so you form political parties, you put yourself out as a candidate in elections. Second round, you commit yourself to a candidate that you believe will win, and then you get an executive appointment. That's BS. You can't change anything like that. Where the focus has to be in the legislature. In as much as I make a lot of power with Senator Amara Conning, but I see him as an example.
Exactly.
I see him as an example. I see Senator Dillon as an example of the way people that are going, you have to be prepared. And this is not just about education.
Exactly. Thank you.
It's not just about education. It's about awareness, how aware you are, how conscious you are, about what you want. for your country. There are people that have appreciable level of education that are in our place, but you hear nothing from them. There are people with doctorate degrees, nothing from them.
Because they don't want to be there. They just want to.
Senator Taylor people will say Senator Taylor are a third grade student. But the contribution that brother makes on issues from the time he became senator is worth emulating. Here comes Senator Amara Kone. Okay? The man tells you what it is, what it means to have the authority to influence law. He does analysis of every major issue. He has an opinion. You cannot be a lawmaker and you are not opinionated.
Facts.
No. You must have opinion in the interest of the people that sent you there.
On every subject matter pertaining to the state.
On every subject matter. And this is the example that Senator Connor sets. So it is a yardstick. It has to be a yardstick for us to make this decision on who we are sending. Not people that are going to credit money and bribe our political party leaders so that they put them on our ballots and make us to campaign and vote for them, and they go there to do things to recoup the money they spend during elections. That is grossly unfair. This has to change. This has to change. If Dwalu wanted to go in there, if Paul wanted to go in there, of course, Paul is not going to bribe any political party leader. You know, she's not going to do it. And because she's not going to do it, she will not get nominated by any political party.
That's right.
So the only thing that is left with her, the only option is to run as an independent candidate. And her chances is slim in that process. We know this very well. So you get all kind of junks turning up to represent her. And for me, the painful thing is, and this is inclusive of all of the political parties.
That's right.
What is the vetting procedures that we have to put electable individuals up as our representation in our parties? The UP is not free from this crime against humanity. I will call it. Neither is the ANC or the CDC or this. No. This is where the most injury is committed to our democracy. Because these are a group of people of 70, whatever, 79, 72, whatever the number is, that are making the decision
103.
about how, whether the country dies or it lives. If you are putting people in charge of this process that are only concerning about their own bellies and their pockets, and the few people that are around them talking about who is strong and this and that, then this country is doomed. No matter, regardless of whatever work the executive does, there will be no recognition. There will be no recognition of the good intents of what we do in terms of proposition coming from the executive, in terms of laws. They will squash it. And so you have all them getting into the pockets of these criminals that will come, sign a mineral development agreement with these people, get small money, put it in their pockets. These people go and cause crime and commit crime against, citizens of those areas. You know what it means? If your action poisons the waterways, of local people, this is their sole reliance. Where some of them go to fetch water to directly drink. Where some of them go to fetch to survive. You destroy that entire thing. Shame on you. You will go to hell.
Thank you.
You will go to hell.
That's right.
I will say this, you will go to hell. What is happening in those communities in bombing? What is happening in those communities? I grew up in Nimba, across that St. John River for many years. And as a young man, I always wonder what that St. John River had that color.
Yep.
The war came, a call with attest to this. The war came and Lamco stopped operation. Then the St. John River took the color of a river.
Yep.
Because they were no longer washing iron ores using the St. John River as a resource and polluting the water. This thing went all the way down to where the St. John River entered into the Atlantic Ocean.
That's correct.
And we accepted this from 1962, 63, all the way to 1990. We continue on this. This is a crime. It's an environmental crime. I'm very emotional about this because I witnessed it. So everybody downstream of that river, because this river is upstream, everybody, whether these are thousands and thousands of families that are living within, the proximity of that river, whether they're depending on that river as source for water, for drinking, for fishing, for this and that, they were constrained to see the St. John River flowing as a brown water, dirty water, so you must speak. But after 10 years of war, that river took its natural shape. I don't know what it looks like now, but as kids in Ganta, the water we went to swim in Ganta, so that dirty water we swim in because of the effect of the mine. Now, chemical is being introduced into the waterways.
Yeah.
And this is work that the EPA has to be doing.
The EPA's job is not a small thing, Sam. Sorry, go ahead.
So if I'm a lawmaker representing people, and I can take money to connive, with institutions in this manner, that money must take me to hell. I can't be the only person that have money. My family cannot be the only person that have money. People along that stream, those streams and things, they rely, that is their naturally given right. That is what they rely on for fishing.
Sam,
that's what they rely on for this.
Let me add something to what you're saying that's very important for context. In the early industrial era, before the 1980s, nobody really understood the science behind this kind of environmental pollution.
Correct. Exactly.
So they didn't know at that time that Lamco was causing kidney failure in people, that Lamco was causing lead and mercury poisoning, that Lamco was causing a high level of developmental abnormalities in children. Sure. They didn't know that the river was the cause because that science is relatively recent, right? Sure. So by the 1980s, I grew up in the States. There's rivers all over the place. The Mississippi River used to be grossly polluted. Even now, you got to be careful about what you take out of Mississippi. There were paper mills on the Fox River in Wisconsin. So even when I was in university, you couldn't eat fish out of the Fox River because of the lead. The Ohio River, look this up, used to catch on fire in the 1960s and 70s. You would just be sitting there, flames would shoot up on the Ohio River. When people started to realize how this stuff affects humans, there was a global shift. Laws were passed, regulations were introduced to protect human beings from these effects. So there's no excuse. And that's why Liberia has the laws. The environmental, social, and impact assessment is required. It's out of that science. That did not exist when the Lamco concession was signed. It did not exist when Bone Mines concession was signed. But every concession we have today, there's environmental laws to protect people. So there's no excuse. Exactly. I wanted to add to what Sam is saying.
No excuse now.
Yeah, so at this point, they're just being evil. They're just being wicked. Why will you know that there's law in place? Bee Mountain is an example, guys, because I looked at what they're doing. There's supposed to be this tailing tank that they're supposed to build that's supposed to hold the dangerous, I'll use simple language, that's supposed to hold the dangerous dirty water that can kill people. It's supposed to go inside that tank. It's an expensive thing to build. So instead of building it to the specifications
release it.
required in the EISA, they just dug some kind of trench that is not lined properly, and that's where they put it. So when the rainy season comes, it overflows and goes straight into the river because they were too greedy to invest the money to protect the community as they agreed to in writing. As I speak to you, because we are in cahoots with each other in that country, Bee Mountain continues to operate and continues to poison the people. Because certain people inside, certain people friends, certain people, a society brother, or they themselves making money from it, nobody is talking. The children of Grand Cape Mount County are being poisoned by Bee Mountain, and I will repeat that over and over again. And it is blatant, it's not hidden, it is obvious. I have video footage, I have photographs. We researched this thing, we sent people out there. 3 years ago, they showed the tailings overflowing into the river, which is a gross violation of the EISA. Liberia government say looking for money. When these companies do these things, you're supposed to levy
heavily funded
them, shut them down. We don't do it because where you're supposed to find them $1 billion, $2 billion, and seize all of their assets. Where you're supposed to do that, you rather take $2 million and divide it again among the powerful people. When you really, what's the value of that river that it destroyed? What is the value of that river? What is the value of the lives of the children that you have poisoned? Billions and billions of money is uncountable. These companies should rather be paying reparations for the damage they've done to our people. But we
So my thoughts and my formation is influenced a lot with my years of working with international organizations, whether it's Cali Relief Services, Oxfam GB, where I spend the bulk of my time, or Caritas, or OSHA, and all those kinds of things. In those war years, there was something called do no harm. But do no harm, and you can look it up. And so all of our programs, in terms of design and implementation, that was a guiding principle. You cannot allow your intervention to cause harm to the communities that you try to do. So meaning the interest of the communities where we're intervening, whether it's by design or by default, was paramount. Already in our environment, as Paul is explaining, the community people are already not benefiting from what, these mining companies are doing. They generate electricity. It's just for their companies. The communities, but they don't benefit. They do this, they don't benefit. They don't benefit. All right? What is your operation harming their ability to be able to fetch a livelihood for themselves by poisoning their waters?
Exactly.
The fishes that they rely on in those waters turn up with belly up. They die. You are depriving them of food.
If we're doing that to fish, what the water doing to the children that drink
The
water? And bathing
water, these people are unknowingly consuming it. They turn up sick. What is this?
Let me say this to you guys. Sorry, Sam, to interrupt. But water, people would say, what they're drinking and bathing and washing their clothes in the creek water, because that's all they have. It's like somebody entering your house and poisoning your drinking water. That's all they have.
Yeah, but that is my point. That is my point.
It's painful.
So these companies are not doing anything to provide safe drinking water for them. They are not doing anything to ensure their livelihood needs are met. No. So there's no safe running water. So these people have to go traditionally, as they've done always, to go to down the stream to get water. And the thing about this is that if you unsafely release all these chemicals below us, there are veins. You know, if there are chemicals there, you know, these things travel through the different veins in the earth, and they pollute water sources.
Yes.
They don't even have to enter into a river. It's in my yard. If I'm siting a well, I'm not going to site that well close to where I build my septic tank.
Exactly.
I will not. But under there, I'm aware that there will be movement of water or whatsoever, you know, as a result of the water veins that are under there. You can't do that in your siting of your well. So it's the case. It's the case there. So you do that and you release it in there with the proximity of a water source, you know, that people rely on. Even if it's not being entered directly in the water, you know, eventually that thing will leak into the ecosystem.
Yeah, let me add to your point before you continue. So Liberia is one of the wettest places. We have so much groundwater. That's why almost everywhere you dig a well, you get water. The point Sam is making is very important. I hope you all listen. So when they poison Bee Mountain, which is upstream, the mountain is high elevation. All of the subterranean waters that flow down towards the coast in various directions are also poisoned. So the very lawmakers, when they go home to Cape Mount for the weekend, the very senators, they too, their children, their family people drinking it. That's why education is important. They think that only the people drinking the creek water, you are using the well water. And guess what? Chemicals cannot be boiled out of water. It's not a bacteria that you will kill, right? It has to be filtered with a technology system that will actually take the lead and mercury out. You boil mercury, it's still there.
It probably exacerbates it.
It's still there. You boil all of these toxins, they're still there. So you can't cook it out of the water. You make food with it. Y'all had your Basayama festival. How did the mercury taste in your Basayama? That's how serious it is. That's how serious it is. So while my in-laws are over there enjoying Basayama festival, if they use
contaminated Basayama.
Contaminated, that's how serious this issue is. So y'all fix it, because next year we want to go eat our own Kasai leaf, and we don't want to die. We don't want to get cancer from it.
Governor says this,
and that's my last point on this.
Okay.
And sometimes people have to think about what happened in other countries and things. A year, 2 or 3 or 4 ago, it was a big issue. I think this community probably was in, if I'm not mistaken, in Michigan. And they were talking about lead poisoning.
Detroit, Michigan, yeah.
Where even the tap water was so contaminated with lead. It became a political issue. It became an election issue for that community. For years, they didn't know that all of the problems people were having, the whole water system was polluted with lead as a result of different things that people were doing. So the work of the EPA is really, really, really critical. I see the move around and they are imposing fines, they are doing this and that. But I don't care how much fine you impose, Walu, it cannot bring back the destruction that you are doing to a whole ecosystem. For me, these people should be shut down. No matter how much contribution they're making to our GDP, to our revenue arrangement. No life is less important than money.
Well, the proportion to Liberia, Mr. Namwe, is not that substantial. I want to say this. After Bee Mountain is destroying portion of Liberia and Grand Cayman County, they are making preparation to go to Riverside County. And I can guarantee you almost the same thing is going to happen in Riverside County. Thank you so much, Edwin. That was Flint, Michigan. That's where this happened. I'm going to say this, though. I've made this thing, and I put it forward. If Dwalu wants to represent King George in Grand Cayman County, let me and my wife and my children can live in King George, Grand Cayman County. People say, oh, you give food, man. What a mess. Let me tell you something. When representatives and officials are not feeling the impact of their decisions, they don't care how that impact is going to affect the very decision they are making. But I want to say this to the population and the voting public. A few months back, I mentioned on the show that when you're looking for a representative and senator, There are certain criteria they must meet. I am not saying this because I want to ostracize anybody. But if a person has not attained certain level in their life, they will not understand plenty of things that they are doing to you. You take a Chimon bucket boy, you make him representative. Or you take a grass cutter, a yard boy, you take a horse boy, you make him a representative, you make him a senator. You take a meat seller, you take a market woman, you put her in the Senate. Do you know what a senator does? And then you expect that person to fully understand global affairs, geopolitics, to understand law, to be able to understand contracts that is affecting the totality of our society, and you won't result. It don't wear it down. Book matters. It doesn't matter why I'm not talking about when we say, oh, they go get degree today, they come and say no book. No, that person got to know that book. Then they got to spend years understanding how the book work. Book get method the way it work. When the person understands how book work and the impact of book and the effect of book, if you don't apply it, then that person now is becoming prepared to become your leader. Sometimes it take a minimum of 10,000 hours. That's a minimum of 10 years. 10 to 20 years. But no, you just try the ball. You can't just try the ball. Give me. Take it, Carolyn. Give me. You take give me. You take somebody or pass on trap setter. Village. God gesture. Town crier. You put it in the city. When people talking, say,
Someone in the city boys that been passing around smoking Viaza in the community.
Yeah.
Lucky Bruna boys.
Yeah. Listen, now go to the Senate, go to the House of Representatives on a Tuesday or Thursday.
Are you telling me?
These political parties we have to do better. Unity Party, let's be an example.
Yeah.
Liberty Party, do better. Let's all do better. Look at the man who say he better than everybody, that the Mr. 1% who say he better than everybody. Look at the people that he empowered in the country. The hypocrisy. Look at the people that he pushed into the legislature, the disrespect. You get a nerve.
Exactly my point.
One of your followers get a nerve to say that you're the best thing for Liberia. Look at the bad choices you've made. Look at the caliber of human beings you've got around you. Look at the people you empowered. The boy Charles in, before, thank God, the people didn't elect or what the boy did, Takun J. He was holding up Takun J to send Takun J to the legislature, Mr. 1% that y'all say better than us. The man, why y'all say better than us? He worked for Coca-Cola. Takun J was going to get dropped. We were to Coca-Cola. But he okay to go to the legislature. You see how y'all wicked? You see how y'all hypocritical? You see how y'all don't mean well for Liberia? You're just making noise all around the place with your hypocrisy. Look at the people y'all empowered. Look at him. And look at what they're doing. Where is the exemplary?
I won't call one name, but 8 tomorrow will be in contempt. So I just
I dare them. You better can't hold you in contempt for telling the truth. Where you coming from? Who is they passing around? We better than this, we better than that. Y'all putting mouth on Joseph Boakai. Y'all putting look at the people that represent your 1% party. Look at the people that y'all push, that y'all want to empower. You're not better than anybody. You're some of the worst hypocrites I've ever seen in my life. If you're such an exemplary person, where are the exemplary people that you have put on the ticket
the ballot,
to run on your behalf on the ballots? Where are they? Where are they? This is the whole thing that people that be doing around here, Mr. Nangbe and Mr.
The thing I have my head, and because we are not competing, the last time when you even mentioned here, look at other legislatures across the country. Look at Sierra Leone legislature.
Don't even compare us to Guinea's junta.
We take
that a man who does not even know how to put his clothes on him properly, staying in the street with his trousers hanging for himself, jumping on car, that kind of human being, he cannot even be the sweeper in a school in Guinea. They will not even allow him around children. Guineans, the citizens, the way how Liberians used to respect themselves and how the Guineans respect themselves, that kind of person can never lead. Can never lead our neighbors.
So what are you leading?
Because the war has gotten us so crazy, so full of hate, that we so hate our country, that we self-sabotage. We take the worst from among us to go there, go steal
The
our
worst.
own. Go there,
The
go steal
worst
our
from
own
among
that is
the
thinking.
worst from among us to go
Cole, here's
represent
the
us.
next thing coming for you. She just jealous because she can't come inside here.
Nobody will ever tell you that. I get no jealous bone in my body. I'm living better than all of y'all. I sleep like baby at night. I gotta take
You
nothing
know,
from nobody.
I don't
take,
understand
I
what
give.
people.
They will never say it to me. I didn't care when I talk to somebody else. I don't take, I give. I have been too blessed in this life. And I would never, and the people who, when I'm, the Dwalo, they do the same thing to me when I criticize government officials. I served before. I'm talking from experience. I served
Exactly.
President Sirleaf. I have 3 green letters. So now that I have not served, I served before. I served that country. So when I'm talking as an experienced person who's gone into the private sector. I'm not speaking. I don't want to go backward in my career. But y'all who come to serve, y'all got to serve right. When I was there, 2 people were criticizing.
You got to serve right. It's a service. You got to serve right. Look, the last time, I'm allowed to you, Cole. Imagine I'm a representative for Riverside County. My children in Boston, Massachusetts. My wife on the side. The effect of my decision, it's not a win. They leave that hot, way beyond fish time. They can't Moria baby her. They disengage from the people that they're representing. How they supposed to understand this? Nobody will talk about it.
Look at that one lying on Mariah. Said Mariah, let's say she wants the baby. Mariah is my little sister. She and I know what place we passed. She would never say she wants the baby. And y'all all want the baby between me and my small sister.
What about debate?
The
What
whole
about
country
debate?
will catch fire.
You can call smart.
Mariah's name is also called. That's another first daughter that my protege. Fire for fire. Mariah and I, she would never want the baby. That's a lie. She tell you nothing like that.
I'm lying again.
You know what place?
So guys, and I always tell you guys, we got to put it in front. Some it will be hard to talk, but if we don't put it forward, our children are dying in Cayman right now. B. Martin can do this because B. Martin understands one thing called. They know there will be no real consequence to their decisions. You see, they can do that thing in Georgia. They go to the state of Georgia where you're living, Gwinnett County, where all your packer, somebody polluting your drinking water, it will call.
Look, let me ask questions. That get me to say bye teeth. When I say bad things, now everybody say, "Oh, why Carl had a going class reloaded?" And say, and do I will be sitting there innocent?
You want to push a fire, do my.
Yeah.
But listen,
How are you think? What you gotta say about that one?
Yeah, man.
To 2 of you, you know, I gotta run. I'm sitting here, my hair is spinning. Whether I'm in, you know, I'm in Arizona or I'm in Philly or I'm in Liberia. My hair is spinning. So let me leave you all and try to rest. I have a couple of early morning meetings. Okay. But again, you know, our commitment to this have to make us to come to set.
Absolutely.
But I don't want to sleep on set. So Dwalo, if you don't mind, may I just say good night to everyone.
Well, and thank you for your time and your commitment to coming on the platform and sharing your thoughts. And I really enjoy you today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, good night, everyone.
Okay, let's take the first caller here, Cole. Let's hear from these people. It's almost done. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Are you speaking to me?
Yeah, you.
Hello?
Yeah, you're live.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, my name is Joseph Dumba. I'm calling you from New York.
Go ahead, Mr. Dumba.
Okay. The point I want to make is that I saw you talking about some people who, I don't know, you could say staff or concentrated some money that were coming into the country in the million.
Are you talking about the Liberian border with Sierra Leone, the $1.1 million?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I would think that those people need to be honored or recognized for their good work.
I agree.
They say credit should be given where credit is due. So if it's possible, if you can push it, let the president do something about it so that it can encourage other people to follow that example. That's the purpose of my call.
Thank you. That's a great recommendation. I'm pretty sure they're listening. Caller, you're live. Your name and where you calling from regarding anything that we'll discuss here tonight. Like I always tell you, all of you got to put your mod there if Liberia is going to be fixed. We all got to put our mod there. Caller, you're live.
Hey, Eduardo, how you doing?
How you doing, sir?
This is Trocon Moses Kuba calling from Grand Rapids.
Hey, Chogon, what's going on, bro?
Good. I want to thank all of you for your dedicated work, especially for those who are working in the government. Most time when I watch it, I see that some of them tired and yawning, but they want to make sure this program is successful.
That's right.
But something I wanted to say that touched me is it has to do with the development of our country again. Every time you watch the news or you look on Facebook, you talk about WIA is coming by 2029. WIA is coming by 2029. But on what platform is he coming back? We don't hear that. There's no suggestion. There's nothing, no contribution being made about his coming back. But I was just listening this morning to Blair, our brother.
Yeah.
He was talking about the public works minister, the program he has unfolded, beginning this coming Monday, the 6th, going all the way about alley opening, all these kind of things. And with the yellow machines coming and all these kind of things, and I read what Dylan posted until you played it, I listened to it.
Yeah.
When Dylan's talking about that, I said something, that the pastor man would say. There's a pastor adage that says, if you're a man who you have work on the farm, want to eat them up, you go on to the bushes and then you hunt and you draw all of these things you want to eat that them up. The doma is prepared and the wife put it on the table. The only way you will allow for the soup of the doma to run out is to say you don't want to eat doma anymore.
Exactly.
These people who are responsible, who know how to run government, are the ones who are in government. These people who are there, who are irresponsible, they were kicked out. They had all the leave of the government, they did all of the things they had to do. Whatever amount of thousands of dollars they had, they ran campaign with it.
Yep.
And yesterday they did not win. But how would a responsible government come to power? This responsible government is opening all these alleys and making the roads and everything else. And the other one good thing is you got the JMB son, all the people, things that we don't know, they bring it to our attention.
Exactly.
Bridges that have been, constructed, roads that have been opened, and things that we don't know how they bring it to us. With all of these things, how can these people come back to power? Especially now, you don't want to eat this domo anymore, then you can swallow it dry. You don't want to soup on it, you can swallow it dry.
That's it. That's it, Chogon.
I appreciate that. So
thank you.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
No, thank you for calling. Thank you for calling, and thank you for getting involved. Caller, you're live. Hey, Jerry, what's going on, brother?
Thank you ever so very much. You guys do a great job for our country to admit, along with our sister who provide free education if you want to learn on this show. Brother, people that we can make lawmakers, some of them men were pushing your paper. I thought I made lawmakers. Why you will get for me? I leave it to the same house. For my wife, I rather eat a go inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. The end of the day, I want to go right after that barrier of the new representative. You think I'm finish creating a own property?
Sansidi?
No. This type of people who get made wrong, can you imagine some people were saying drive me, they know that you get into the Senate. But what did they do? They put them on that money. So my brother, let me tell you to conclude. Your teacher, young one is 2017 election. We were in Europe. All the money they got there, and they put away and say, let's just give it to him.
No.
JB said that I will not allow for any blood to waste. That's what they want to election. I challenge them. We were there in a third country. We went person we knew. What they did, they don't want to election. They say they can't buy you ball. If you live to see the Nazi, will be grateful to go. If you cross the road with car, they say, wow, smart. No, you're not smart. About a grace. So
that's how you go.
Election come back. You go, you sleep in today, you know tomorrow. So all people are better than zero. In the country, better is better for everybody. In the government facing when you passing the opposition, you're not passing the rule. They driving on the rule and the government facing, then the forcing the opposition do something tangible. Let people see. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you for calling to the show. My brother, if you take Sangba, Bill Carson, you take Sangba, you put it in a way in Europe. You bring musician. Our young people, most of them, they need job. They need somewhere to go. looking for entertainment. Even here in America, you bring musicians that are famous in the country, you carry them anywhere, you pay small money, people will pile up there. People will pile up there. But the problem here is that what people know better now. They know way better. That nonsense that happened before can never happen again. Where Liberians fold their arms because they harm these boys' cause to this country. We cannot allow ever again. Kawu, I got your picture uploaded, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for your calls and for always being here. We can talk Liberia together. Kawu, let me know when you want me to upload that.
Yeah, just before you do that, I wanted to say something about this whole issue with our safety and our health when it comes to not only mining concessions, but all kinds of environmental degradation. It is an emergency situation. Somebody just messaged me and said, "Call, you have to emphasize that we're literally and in fact poisoning our future, our children and the future generations." For all of the existence of Liberia, people have tried to carry this torch forward. The war has caused immeasurable damage. A lot of what we see, putting these loud people, what the other one that call himself Safoko, shouting, acting like crazy person, say he represented it. What kind of honorable man behaves that way? In a public space, you're supposed to be setting an example for children. These are the people making decisions for our country. These are the people that don't even understand how to speak when they're in the front of a camera. These are the people that are making decisions to poison our children when it comes to concession agreements and things like that. These are the people that you're sending to protect yourself and your children from bad decisions. Does he look like somebody that's able to comprehend the consequences of his actions?
Why?
And so I just wanted to emphasize that, Dwalu, as my final word is that we have to take this very seriously.
It is serious, Cole.
That it's declared an emergency while we're reviewing these concessions. If we want money to pave our streets with gold, we got it right there with all of these criminal concession agreements that are breaking the law, that are swindling our people. And it's not only the mining concessions, some of the corporate concessions we have. The ones we have at places like, look at this other company at the Freeport of Monrovia. Look at it. Look at some of these concessions we have.
Yeah.
APM terminals, what are they doing? All of these companies, look at what they're doing. How much have they stolen and what are they doing? Give me 1 second, Dwal. I want to make sure that on the same
While
page.
you're doing the APM terminal, there's nothing that you're doing out there that if the government wanted and you're willing to subsidize minimally, you say, go in, you're going to set up the APM terminal, you get small money, you can set it up. There's nothing special they're doing over there. But they're just skimming over the top at our expense for no reason whatsoever. There's nothing special they're doing. And these boys are getting filthy rich. And by the way, the mountain made close to around $895 million last year. That's what they reported. Just imagine that kind of money coming out of one.
And that's what they reported.
Yeah, that's what they reported.
So if they're reporting that, that's the tip of the iceberg of what they're digging out of that mountain and not reporting, because who's watching them? Yeah. Who is watching them? They see people, let me say, Dwalu, if they can allow them to poison the river, they're allowing them to take far more out of that country than what they clean.
Yeah.
Even our iron concessions, you talk about precious minerals. Of course, these people are looting. They're looting these mountains. They're looting, and our people are paying the price with their lives.
Price.
Our people are paying the price with their health, with their children's lives. If somebody is sitting in Europe, say, okay, for every 10 pounds for every 10 pounds of gold you get, claim a half a pound. Yeah. They don't know better. They will not check, because when you give them $1 million, that's plenty of money for them.
Without
talk about diarrhea and economic hitman, Liberia, we have to do better. We have to do better.
The fleecing of this entire country, called. The country is being entirely fleeced, and these guys don't care. They don't care. No job in the country. The only thing that making me very in the whole thing, they will bring the Turks in. They pay them $15,000, $20,000 a month. Then they look at Flomo. They give Flomo $150 to become a sweeper. While LU is putting out 1,700 graduates, UMU putting out around 600-700 graduates, AMB Zion in the country, literally close to 5,000 graduates every single year across our country. And the argument that we are not qualified cannot suffice because the Turks they're bringing, you bring people to drop forklift when PW are right there. I mean, this thing it drives me crazy to the point where I don't understand what people do. You take small money, you won't drive your B car in Moray, you won't call yourself B-man. We need to create local Liberian rich people too. What these guys are doing, they're fleecing the country. Our villages are being disappeared. Last month, some of the villages around B Mountain, they're moving the people from their ancestral home, the graves. They will dig up all those graves. We're not supposed to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's a major problem. It's a major problem. I got your stuff uploaded.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about one particular person today. I think a lot of these people have been lost in history, but somebody that I think needs to be mentioned and needs to be remembered. This is Clement Irons. His name is Clement Irons. And the reason Clement is important, he was born in South Carolina. He was born into slavery. And Clement basically fought to liberate himself from slavery. In South Carolina, not all states allowed this, but South Carolina at some point allowed slaves to do extra work and be able to struggle to be able to get a little extra to buy themselves freedom. He bought his own freedom. He was a mechanic. The reason Clement was able to do the extra work is because he was a highly skilled mechanic. He was able to fix cotton gins. He was able to build machines, industrial machines. And he was such a genius that he was able to do it. Even though he was property of someone, he could also sell his skills on the side. So Clement Irons bought his freedom and took a ship to Liberia in 1878. After he had gotten free, he worked for some time as a mechanic, as a machine worker, and then was able to say, you know what, I need freedom. And he didn't go to Liberia to go play big shot. Clement could barely read and write. He went, and when he got to Liberia, he built his own steamship on the St. Paul River, and he devoted his life to teaching indigenous people his craft. So he worked with the Muhlenberg Mission and helped to teach people how to build and repair ferries and the types of equipment they used to use at that time. And I don't know when he died because I don't have any record of that. I'm still digging to see when he passed away, but this is his actual photograph that was taken in 1898 when he had been in Liberia already for 20 years and he was an elderly man. This is his actual photograph taken on the St. Paul River. He actually learned how to speak Pele fluently. And, you know, people forget that on the St. Paul River there around Carisburg, all those areas were Pele towns, and most of the people there were speaking Pele. So he spoke Pele, and I believe he died somewhere near Zorzor. But he basically integrated with the people there and devoted his life to teaching. So I just want to give that shout out, Clement Irons, a great Liberian.
Thank you so much, Mr. Irons. We will not have known your name. A call didn't come to sharing your pictures with all. Hopefully someday you can do something from the Mississippi territory, with the Greenville, Sando, those areas.
Oh, that's a good idea. Let me do that tomorrow.
Yeah, so if you find it,
one of my favorite things is the Greenville story.
Okay.
What do you know about Greenville?
Well, according to the story, my mother's parents, they came to Liberia between 1898 or 1903. They were the Millers, right? So the Greenville territory, and then he moved into Sesto, that whole area. He was a tax collector for many years. That's all I know about it.
What do you do? Text me the information. I got a whole repository of information on Mississippi and Liberia. So people think that Greenville is named after Greenville, South Carolina. No, it's named after Greenville, Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah.
It's named after Greenville, Mississippi. But I got a whole, I have an external hard drive with all kind of digital data. Dwalu, I've been doing this thing.
That's a lot of work. That's a massive archive.
It's a passion. I would enjoy doing it. So one day I would turn it over to Liberia.
So Liberian people, we spoke about a lot today, Cole, and I want to close today directly to the voting population of Liberia and how we do elections in the country. The issue of leadership that I began with today, I'm going to close this with electing senators and representatives of our republic. Yes, the president is a powerful position, don't get me wrong, but the legislature is more powerful than the presidency if they're working properly, the way they're supposed to work. How you make your selections in Liberia, it will determine whether your children get their fair share of the Liberian cake, so to speak, or whether we have a future in the country. If you take men who have not achieved anything in their personal lives, I'm not talking about going to AU and get a degree, because this is the achievement we'll talk about. I'm talking about somebody who have lifted themselves. They're the prominent person in the community, number one. They're a decent quality family man. They're building the community socioeconomically. They can be able to make their small money for themselves through the years. They are respectable. They're not an alcoholic. They're not born children all around. Those are factors. It doesn't mean when you're born all around, you can be a good man. But what I'm trying to say, you're trying to build somebody that will go to the legislature, a quality woman, a God-fearing woman, a dignified woman, a dignified man that goes to the legislature, that understand our plight, understand our history, understand that the decision he's taking is going to weigh on generations of years to come. But when you take Viaz the smoker, you send him to the legislature, I mean, sometimes we laugh about it, but this is very serious. That man does not understand anything. Only what time my gas leak coming, what time my paycheck coming. Do you recognize that I would say maybe 90% of people in the legislature today cannot make half of the money they are making in the legislature outside the government? This is how you measure it. If a person can make a minimum, I am not kidding, $2,000 United States in Liberia for 5 years consecutively, that person has elevated themselves far above the typical. So many things they understand. The way they think is different. The way they think about the future of the country is different. So many things are important. So when somebody comes to you for election, it's not just somebody who came from something and play, they borrow some kind of money from bank, they buy back or rent. Anytime somebody give you back or rent, they are insulting you and they are taking the future of your children. And they buy you zinc. They got to come to you with a vision. And you got to look at their life. You got to ask them, say you've been living, you've been beaming. What do you not do for yourself? That good question now. Where are your children at? Your children with a man, you can take care of your children. Yes. How many children you get, but how many women? You can beat the women in. The whole way you build, how long ago you build a house? Do you get market for yourself? And the way you live, you're not sleep on air condition before. Yes, it's important. You're not own car before in your life. You're not able to own car. You're not able to do decent quality thing in your community. People in your community, do they respect you? I'm not saying they respect you because you're getting better real. They respect you because what you're not doing in the community. This is who you follow. But you cannot put people there that don't understand what they're doing. I will not say his name here. When I have my operation in Buchanan, they got literally to Mama Kai, he's a representative right now. Press the road, have my trucks there. Nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you cannot go above that. But what I'm trying to say, when you put those kind of people in power, what happened here? They may just sit down. They may not waiting for paycheck. Do you really believe that half the legislature can sit down and read 1,000-page book in a week? They get that kind of discipline. That's what it takes. It's a lot of reading. This contract has to be followed through. You have to be able to write things. Look at what Emma Conan does, for example. Every position in the country, he not only has a position, he writes up his position. You can read it for all the history to go back. Every single representative in the country should be doing that. Every single representative should have a website. There should be publications from them, their vision for their district, what they are doing in their district. Yes, a website can cost you $49 a month. District number 5, Riverside County website. Everything in that district is in that website.
Dwalu, somebody can't even read. I was told by someone that there are people that we have elected to these positions of authority, someone who was in the legislature himself, that said, we have lawmakers who cannot read, let alone illiterate for reading. How can you elect an illiterate person to go make law? How? And they're not 1850, where this is the 2000s, the 2020s. We have so many that indigenous people business. All of us not go to school.
Yeah.
You leave the native people that went to school and learn hard. Y'all Bopulu Kante, y'all thinking for Amara.
You think
Because
about
that man went to school. They said man went to school. They put him there. I don't know how far Boto Kane went in school. I can't hear her talking.
second emotion.
Yatoya went to school.
Yeah.
Yatoya, you can hear him talking.
You hear him talking because he went to school, because he was at that level that is required to talk. The last time I followed Yantoyan, he was talking about the issue with Meta Steel and the impact on his people. He was there, not just speaking the Mano, but he was translating for all that don't understand Mano to know what he's doing. And this is a fight. It's a massive fight.
Even when I don't agree with Amara, I'm proud of him for speaking.
I don't have to agree with you.
For thinking. Even when I agree with Yantoyan, actually I always agree with Yantoyan. But if I don't agree with Senator Twain, it's okay. Because at least the basis of my disagreement is based on his understanding of an issue. These people don't. What issues do these people understand? What issue does Yaka Koloba understand?
Cole, you know I love you. I don't want nobody to cuss you.
Yaka not able to cuss me. Yaka cuss me, cussing his own ancestors. He's not able to cuss me. They know what to cuss. Let me tell you something, Yoalu. Before somebody can cuss you, you have to regard them.
That's true.
So although if you say something to me, it will hurt my feelings, tell you my brother, and I respect you. But people who you not respect, not able to insult you.
That's true. I like the way you think.
It's the truth. People who you don't respect are not able to insult you.
That's true.
It's not that my skin is thick. If my husband don't look at me a certain way that I'm used to him looking at me, my feelings will be hurt. So my skin not thick. But the thing is, if you're not important to me, you're not able to hate me. That's it. There's nothing Yaka Koloba can say or do about me or mine that will affect me in any way, because I don't think anything of him. And that's sad, because he's a human being. But he conducts himself like a misfit, like an animal. When I'm walking down the street and dog barking at me, I don't get hurt. It doesn't hurt my feelings because that is an animal and it's behaving like an animal. That's what it's programmed to do. Some of these people are animals in human being skin. They look like us. They're among us, but they're not of us. They're among us. They resemble us, but they're not of us. And you cannot allow those kind of people to enter your spirit and affect your well-being. Who are they? You're not even able, Kamasa say you rude. You're not even able to be rude, man. You're not even able to be rude. This is a person that has degenerated into the worst kind of being. And he's still sitting there in the legislature, a liar. A liar is not a person to be respected.
Go. I'm going to say this. Look, for some of you people, don't y'all forget what happened in the last 6 years. When you, especially at the presidency, the president has to be a ferocious reader. That person has to spend, look what President Bwaka does. They probably go on 10, 11 o'clock at night because he's going through everything meticulously. You cannot take people. Imagine you get an Oxford lawyer, you get a Harvard lawyer sitting across the table to sign a contract with Liberia, and then you have somebody like Papi Solo on the other side representing Liberia.
Do you know what they're going to do? They're going to get on airplane, go Europe, go Asia to go represent our country. They go. They be serious. Dress up in suit. They even know to take the tag off.
Chinese suit.
They don't. Sometimes they can buy expensive suit. They even because they waste money like hell. When you work for something, you can waste it. Then they go sit down. They leave the tag on the suit. They leave the tag on the suit. They even get a suit tailored properly. They go down there. They got the wrong color shoes, the wrong color tie. They don't care. They know the in things.
They don't think it matter.
Just how they look, how they carry it, they sit with the people. There's nothing that people saying to understand. All they know, they sit into the table. And when they sit down there, they're like, wow, I'm among these people. That me asshole. That me asshole making decisions for your country.
Eating or raw.
Sitting from a position of inferiority. They don't even have the consciousness. They don't even have the consciousness to sit there as equals with their partners. They sit there as subordinates.
In all of them.
Of cowardice and insubordination. They're even in awe at the fact that they're sitting among the people. Are they able to push back and negotiate when they don't even believe that they're worthy of being there in the first place? When they sit there among the people and whatever, I can't believe the Chinese man talking to me. Wow, look how far I come. That the kind of human beings supposed to be making decisions for your country, for your children's future. A person that does not even recognize himself to be the same kind of human being that he's negotiating with. Inferiority complex. They only know how to be big and bad when they stand in the community cussing. Yeah. But when they go among those people, they cower and they reduce themselves to their actual state of inferiority. And they sit there and the people boss them around. Do you remember when a bunch of lawmakers went to the U.S. Embassy, sitting government officials, to go ask the U.S. government to intervene in matters of Liberia? Do you see how they think? Do you see how they think?
People look down on us.
They look down on themselves and how they carry themselves and think small of themselves. That how they want to drag Liberia to be small like their mindset. They're making Liberia to be small like their mentality. Because you take small-minded people and put them in big, big places. They will make that place small like their mentality.
All day, every day.
And until we get more Amerikaners and more Nyatwans in that place, and more Dar es Salaams in that place, until we get more thinking people in that place, they will continue to make our country small like their mindset. And you want your country to be big? You want your country to be better? You stop going after grown-up boys and all kind of foolish people and look at tomorrow. Somebody, if you were a millionaire, will you hire that fool to be your office boy? No, you will not. No. Why are you sending him to the legislature?
To the legislature. And my brother Ricky, we got over 3,000 people. I'm only saying that because maybe perhaps you don't understand that I'm actually watching the show. Maybe you cannot see it. But look, listen, it's not about the view. It's about the message we're putting out there. If you believe you should take a Chimon bucket boy to go to the legislature to represent us in the future of our children when he or she is in awe or somebody else, this is crazy. We will be eating for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what's going to happen to the country. And y'all can vote out there. When you're voting, don't understand the voting when you're voting, that your children's future you're voting. People will sit down. They can't think the way the global world works now. We got everything for all. Then the people can't get all 3%, 10%. They will be happy with it.
Small-minded people sitting there negotiating. They, instead of making law, they're running around looking for investors. You come to the country. Oh, you say you'll give me 50,000? 50,000 are big money for them. Because they're making business out of the legislative seat instead of making laws and protecting the country. They're making business out of the legislative seat. This is a legacy of war. This is the sad and pathetic legacy of war, and we must rise above these people and their base, low mentality. We must, as a people, rise above these people. We have to. We have to rise above them in order for Liberia to thrive, in order for us to be what we're supposed to be. As long as we keep the lowest denominator as our representation in the legislature, we will be stuck here. And Joseph Boakai can build bridges out of gold if the three branches of government are not functioning. So great, you know how to choose president. I applaud you. Now y'all go choose lawmakers too.
Thank you. Where it should really matter in the house, and they must go to work. Some of those laws must be changed. They're not working long enough. We just small country. If I call, they spend more time arguing on the floor over the most nonsensical issues than they're talking about why be mountain putting water in our children and breakfast water.
My brother, they're treating the legislature like one drinking table in one backyard somewhere. They have drinking table talk. They go past law. They don't even read it. My man, how we vote? And we give y'all $10,000. That's how you vote. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's the thing. Give me my mind.
They even know the power they get.
They know it. They don't have the ability to exercise it because they don't have the mind, the understanding of how to do it. They know what they're supposed to do. To show you that they know about power, when they're ready to abuse it at the time, you can know.
That's true. That's true. Look, Liberian people, it will always fall back on every single one of us. When you say, I will just eat my own, if you're supposed to get 100,000 United States dollars, let me tell you something before I leave the show tonight. If we ran this country at 50% efficiency, that means we ran the country half of what we're supposed to run it. No Liberian citizen should be living on less than 50,000 United States dollars per year. That's how rich we are. If we ran this country at 50% efficiency. So because right now we are living on less than $1,000 per year, that's how poorly this country has been run for the last 170 some odd years. That's why some all get so angry because we got so much, yet we have nothing. We are dying before the age of 60, while other countries across the globe, they're living all the way to 80 years old. By the time our children turn 15, 14-year-old, we may not sleep with them because the fathers don't have what it takes to protect the daughters. Our boys are being zogorized in the country. A lot of things that are happening. Our kids are graduating from high school. They're not reading a comparable level. You got people graduating from the University of the Republic of Liberia that are not on par with their counterparts in the region. This should be vexing to every single person. Now, somebody will misconstrue this. Oh, you think you know better. It's not about knowing better. It's about telling you how we all should do it.
Yep. Exactly.
We all got a role to play. And we got to do it better. I don't care how well I vote good. If you in King George don't vote good, it will still affect me, even though I voted good.
As long as we can get the majority of the people in the House and the Senate to be of sound mind,
yes,
and to be somewhat elevated in their thinking, it would do a lot.
A lot of good.
Overpower the Grenell ones. If you get a majority of sound people in that legislature, and y'all get vexed all you want, most of them don't meet my standard. Most of them don't meet my standard. You'll never look at a Safoko and vote for him. Never. He said, sitting people like that, Dwalo. Thank you, my brother. Let me get off my soapbox. I know you're looking tired, small.
No, what they do is, in this country will not get tired. Like we say, small country, massive history. I think sometimes because we forget our history, this is why we continue to make these decisions. I know these are remnants of the war, but the war's been over 25 years now. We have to make effort to change this and send our best and brightest minds to the legislature, the presidency, enough for small-minded people, men and women who have not burned the midnight candle. The presidency has to be the vision bearer of this country, a person that can articulate the vision, understand our plight, our aspirations as a society. He or she can represent us internationally with the pride and dignity that Liberia is. We can no longer take men and women like fucking claw and send him back to the executive mansion of our republic. Somebody who just kicked around a rubber ball and they gave the future of our children to him. All of us suffering today because of this. Go. It was a pleasure as always. So the audience, thank you so much. You have a great day. God willing, see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, Liberia developing. This is the Class Reloaded, the #1 online show that brings the truth. Showcasing JNB and JKK progress all across the country.
The Class Reloaded, we are online every day. Yeah. Showcasing progress, the Liberian way. JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The Class Reloaded, we're shining today. Hey. Oh.
From Monrovia City to the other counties, development talk shake the country. We talk the truth, we don't lie. The rescue mission making people smile. Roads getting better, schools better, electricity stable, no more hoping. We see the change, we see the light. Unity Party doing things right. Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better rise again?
Oh yes we can.
Who talk the facts?
The Class Reloaded.
Who bring the vibe?
The Class Reloaded.
Support development.
The Class Reloaded.
Who better rise again?
Oh yes we can. The Class Reloaded, we are online every day.
Every day.
Hey. showcasing progress the Liberian way.
Well, JMB and JKK, they're making the way. The clouds reloaded, we shining today.
Hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, hey. Turn up the sound, let the people dance. Liberia progress, we get the chance. No fake news, we bring the proof. The class reloaded, always in the booth. From social media to the street corner, everybody talking about the new order. Respect to the hosts, they keeping it real. Liberia future, that's the deal. The class reloaded,
Truth,
Liberia rising,
progress,
JMB and JKK.
develop,
The rescue mission, we move soon.
the class reloaded,
True,
Liberia rising,
progress.
JMB and JKK.
Develop. The rescue mission, we move soon.